yeah. It's Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So guess what that means? That means it's time for Outlaw Radio. Welcome to Outlaw Radio Live. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the host of Outlaw Radio. I'm the architect of the People's Network as well as the People's News Network, which right now is one of my favorite Facebook groups, right? Like it goes down in the People's News Network. You need to get in where you fit in and get in the People's News Network, man. Real premium black news, things that are pertinent to us, things that matter to us, such as my show, such as Outlaw Radio. People say, Kev, what's Outlaw Radio? Outlaw Radio is a foundational black American platform. Outlaw Radio is a platform that was created and dedicated to foundational black Americans. That's what it is. What do you talk about? Black people shit. Why are so many people all of a sudden watching Outlaw Radio? Why are people joining the People's News Network en masse? Because we are in the middle of what we call the delineation movement. We are self-identifying. We're saying anything you say about us is true, but everything you say about us is false. And in the middle is us saying, we don't give a fuck either way it goes. Welcome to the show. It's Monday night, man. Got a phone number, 262-202-5131 on the bottom of the screen. Got probably the most poppin' chat room that you could possibly find when it comes to what we call podcasting, I guess, content creation and whatnot. Dion's in the chat room. He said, nigga, you been to church with that white motherfucking shirt on. Say, man, Dion, one thing I can always promise is that you're going to criticize my wardrobe. This shirt is actually not all white. It's the lighting. There's some green pinstripe effects here. This is a work shirt. This is his red cap. Y'all better get up on it, man. You got to know how to look good without spending a whole lot of money. He says, what to do, my nigga, no cap. We happy we back on. Look, we took last Wednesday, we were supposed to do a show. I chose not to do the show just because I needed to rest. I mean, I'm a man of a certain age, right? Like I got to get my naps in. Sometimes I just got to relax. And a lot of the things that we talk about in terms of socio-political information can be very heavy, and it's a lot to take on. And I've always promised myself that I would do this show and I wouldn't let this show do me. So when I feel like I need to just, kick back, kick my feet up and watch some Tubi, that's what I'm going to do, man. That's what I'm going to do. Right? We always talk about self-love. We talk about self-love. And so that's what we do. That's why we weren't here last Wednesday. But oh my God, there was so much to talk about that I left on the table. In the hood, we used to call that you left money on the table. I left money on the table last Wednesday night because I was doing me. But we are here tonight. I want y'all to call in. I want y'all to share this show. I want y'all to contribute. Everybody's opinion is valuable to me. I love to hear other people's perspective because I've been living with me for a very long time, and I know how I feel, right? I'm one of them dudes who I talk to myself, right? I have to admit this out loud. I talk to myself all the time. I talk to myself. And I ask myself, what's going on? I ask myself, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? How are you doing it? I talk to myself, right? And so when I say, I think I'm going to talk about this on the show, that means I've already had this conversation with myself. I know it's kind of weird, but y'all just got to rock with me for a minute, right? I got my co-host with me, man. I told y'all I'm the host. I'm Kevin Barnes, militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, also known in some circles as the world-class smartass. Kamar taught me that I need to give myself some applause sometimes.
The real Negro Whisperer.
The real Negro Whisperer.
The real Negro Whisperer.
My brother, man, how you doing tonight, man? What's popping? Uh-oh. We got a delay, Kamar. We got a delay. He just laughing there. Listen, he's gonna get his audio right.
Yeah, I'm my thing tripping.
I know it's good. We're gonna do it anyways. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're gonna do it anyways. How you doing tonight, man?
And I'm just gonna chill out for a minute until it warm up.
There we go. There we go. So like I said, man, it's Outlaw Radio Live. I really, really, really love and appreciate all the support that we have been getting. I love the People's News Network. Boy, there's some sparring going on in the People's News Network. And I play catch up, right? Because I'm not, I got a real job. So I'm not like on Facebook all day or whatever. But when I look into the People's News Network, what I discover is there's a lot of conversations that are happening in there that are needed, right? I'm always willing to have conversations that are needed. That is one of the things about our show, and I think it's probably a blessing and a curse, is that yes, it's 100% real, it's unfiltered. Everything I do is live. I've done this thing live for 11 years straight. I have over 800 shows. There's about 4 on our YouTube page. There's about 3 or 4 on my Facebook page. But it's real, and I believe that we have to be transparent. The way for us as Black people to really become who we are is to become transparent. Because when you're transparent, you're going to tell the truth. You're going to talk about what it is and what it's not. Like, we pride ourselves on this thing saying it is what it is, but at this point in history, I'm thinking that it ain't what it ain't. And we need to stop trying to reinvent the wheel and deal with things the way they are. You can wish and you can pray and you can hope and you can sing and you can march and you can demonstrate, but you got to accept things for how they are and you got to deal with the reality accordingly. Let me go to my chat room. Dion saying Kamar got the T-Mobile internet. Ocean Shira died. How you doing? How you doing, my sister? She said peace and blessings, my brothers. Hey, Outlaws. Peace out to Miss Dodd. She big ups us all the time on social media. Anytime anybody asks what's a relevant podcast, what do I need to be listening to if I'm in the 414, she never hesitates to say Outlaw Radio. She says it. Outlaw Radio. Kevin Barnes, Outlaw Radio, right? Now, let me see if I got Kamar back in because I want to make sure the audio is straight before I move forward. Kamar, let's see if we can hear you. You good?
My audio, my whole thing is moving slow right now. I'm thinking just because I ain't been down here in a while. I don't know, man, but I'm thinking I might just have to let it warm up. But however, it's looking pretty good right now.
I can hear you. I just think we have a delay, which sometimes, like you said, sometimes it gets right. I think you're on a tremendous delay right now. So I don't know. It's like a kung fu movie and shit. Like you talking and your lips is moving, but no sounds coming out. Well, but we'll listen. You're here. That's all that counts.
I'm just gonna hang back for a minute.
There we go. There we go. So it's Outlaw Radio Live, man. Every time I take a break, I feel like I miss. People call me and say, "Kev, we needed you to talk about this, that, and the third." But there's so many other platforms that you can actually listen to. I'm going to be the first to say everything ain't for everybody. And my whole thing is, if you don't have love for informing people or enlightening people or even entertaining people, if you don't have a love for that, don't do this, because you're going to have to do one of those 3 things. You're going to have to enlighten, entertain, or inform. It's one of those 2 things. I mean, one of those 3 things. I'm sorry, I went to NPS. But yeah, so if you got a platform and you're trying to get it in, I appreciate you, and you're welcome to post whatever content you have in the People's News Network. That's a beautiful thing. I shout out to all of the contributors, all of the admins of the People's News Network, and even all the contributors. I don't always agree with everything that's said in the group, but such is life, right? I shouldn't agree with everything that's said in the group. Anytime you open up yourself, it's just like when somebody puts their business on Facebook and somebody talk bad about them and then they say, "Oh, why motherfuckers hating on me? I got haters." Well, you put it on Facebook. You put it out for public consumption. It's actually your fault, right? You don't have haters. You just talk too goddamn much. So, I'm I'm with all the smoke. You can come at me, you can challenge me, you can, yeah. And I'm talking about political opinions. I'm talking about socio-political opinions. I'm not talking about nothing personal because I'll just hang up on your ass, right? Like so. But if you really want to contribute to the conversation that's going on this show, 262-202-5131 is the phone number. The chat room is always active. If you shy, people be shy. I don't want anybody to hear me. These sensitive ass dudes. Juice Lady, let's check your audio. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the show.
I'm well.
There you go.
Oh, I ain't done now. I was just in math class, and this nigga gonna argue with me about the answers in math, and he didn't even do the assignment prior. Shit.
I assume it wasn't English.
Leave me alone, Kev. But yeah, prior to the goddamn math class, he didn't do the assignment, but then he in there talking about, I don't really think that's the answer. I don't know. Well, nigga, you don't know because you don't know what you doing.
Right.
That's all. That was all.
I was in school at one point, and I do realize that sometimes you're in class, and I remember in grad school sitting around thinking, like, how the fuck you get in grad school? Because there was some dumbass people in my class, right? Like I remember, and then I don't want to put anybody on blast, but I remember one time this is a sister, she did a whole paper on how Suge set up Tupac to get killed in Las Vegas. And I was sitting there like,
y'all gonna let me do it.
All right. Well,
you gonna let me do it. Okay.
I'm sitting around like, for real? And maybe it's just me being uppity, right? I'm a highfalutin Negro, right? Like my expectations be so high for us, and we never fail to disappoint me. I'll just say that out loud, right? Like I'd be like, I hope we get this one. Then it'd be some bullshit. And you'd be like, damn. But such is us, right? I'm a very proud man of color. I'm a foundational Black American. I'm a delineator. I believe in the power of identifying who you are.
Shut up, Dion.
I appreciate people who are honest and transparent about, how they move, but I also understand that sometimes you got to tell a lie, right? Sometimes you got to bust a move, right? As we say, you got to bust a move. You can't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing type thing. I was raised by Southern parents, y'all. Forgive me. Dion is complimenting the Juice Lady. He said
I don't know if it's a real compliment. These curls, and I need you know it's a curly before you can.
She got the Caribbean joint tonight. There we go.
Curls in there.
All right, some little ass rollers, like some really like pin size curling irons, right?
I just hope not to run into Dion at the store. I just need y'all to understand. Running into this nigga at the store, he loud first off, and then he's unnecessary as he is here. Courtney, you keep a little bit of hair on it, don't you? I'm like, oh my gosh, niggas is walking past. You said, don't you? Oh my god, Dion, move.
Dion is completely as advertised. I promise you. If you meet him I don't know if he's really social with everybody, but if he fucks with you, when he see you in public, everybody's gonna know he fucks with you. I'm telling you, man. I was fresh off back surgery at a gas station pumping my Dion almost knocked me down. He jumped. I think he let the truck keep moving. I'm exaggerating. I think he let his truck keep moving and jumped. Kev. And I said, oh shit, calm down. God damn, bro. People at the gas station like, you all right? Like, I don't know. Because these folks, I didn't know if they had finally figured out where I live at. I didn't know. That's an inside joke if you're from Capitol. Kamar, let's check your audio, man. See if your modem warmed up yet. And some people modems have to do calisthenics, right? Like,
how I sound now? Am I on time?
Well, you responded pretty quickly, so it was better than it was at first. Because at first you was like,
oh, okay.
The fuck is wrong with this dude? Oh man, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show. Right. Listen, I don't know about y'all. I don't know where y'all, not y'all two in particular, but people who listen, right? And shout out to everybody who's rock with us, because we've had some back-to-back real bumbles where shit was high, like people are watching. I personally am having a great time being Black right now. I don't know if it's just me. I mean, yeah, Trump is president, right? But I got to see Kendrick Lamar destroy Drake. Then I got to see him do the Super Bowl, and nobody knew what the fuck he was talking about except us. White people was like, I don't know. The only thing they heard was pedophile in A minor. Did y'all see Will Ferrell? What is Will Ferrell? What he did to say? Listen, that shit was hilarious. I said I was gonna play it. I think I'm gonna play it Wednesday because I didn't get it prepared. That shit was because I know that's how white people heard it. He's like, what fucking pedophile, A minor. What? Listen, we've never had white people this confused in our lives. I'm trying to tell you, I watch SNL 50 and I watch Eddie Murphy and I watch and they had the black Hollywood squares. Like, this shit was hilarious because they don't know what the fuck we are talking about. We can talk to ourselves and totally get the conversation. Go ahead, brother.
We got a whole nother dialect. So we got like a whole nother dialect of the English language.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the shit what they get from us. Different slang terms. You see it here in the commercials and shit. Remember how bling came about?
I think somebody needs to do a study on how much the way we speak has actually influenced our language in this country. It's English. Definitely. But if you listen really closely, you always catch them trying to say something we say. Right? And they'll do it like tongue in cheek, and it's like they do it to show that they're hip. Because we are the culture. I don't know when we are gonna come on, man. We are the culture. And I know they have a lot of intellectuals who can use words bigger than the words I use, and they have all these think tanks. They have all these systematic nuances in place. But if you think about the reality is, they've never been able to get rid of us. They've tried every fucking thing you can try. They have not been able to eradicate us, and I think we need to relish that. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit, Kamar. I think because they programmed us to think that we're less than, right? The reality is we're more than, because you have not been able to eliminate me. You listen. We go all the way back to eugenics. We start talking about abortion, which the white people now want to make illegal. You know the purpose of the creation of abortion when we talk about Margaret Sanger, right? We're talking about eugenics. We're talking about her wanting to strip the black woman of her ability to produce black children. This is what the original purpose for that was. They didn't know that it's white girls everywhere getting raped by their brothers, uncles, fathers, and white men who they blamed the black man for as well, right? That's who wanted the abortions. That's who wanted it. Everything they're fighting against, they're talking about immigration. How long have we complained that you bring everybody else here and don't do shit for us? And we're losing out because they get a head start. How long have we been complaining about that? Very long time. Now, illegal immigration is a motherfucker. So we are America. Black people are American. I don't know. It's hard for some of us to accept it, Kamar. And I just said, Kev, I could never be a citizen of a country that did this and raped my grandmother and raped. Well, you are, nigga. You are. You are a citizen of this fucking country. Because where you going? Why you think Trump ain't sent us off? Because it ain't nowhere you going to send me to Mississippi? You going to send Kamar to Alabama? You going to send Courtney to Louisiana? Won't be no more goddamn Outlaw Radio. I'm reporting them. Where are you sending us? There's nowhere. There's nowhere. We are the true Americans. We got to start acting like it. Hey, when your money spend more than anybody else money through the system, you the one, right? Who money gets spent more than ours? Who are the biggest consumers in this country? Y'all better stop playing with me. I'm gonna get too real, right? I'm gonna have to take up collection, right? Somebody pass the Cash App plate. Let's get us an organ player. Dion's in the chat room. He said, "You're so right, Kev. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. If I don't, I don't. I don't know about nobody else. I just know even we did wellness our way, and I had Dion live on the air on the microphone, and I was nervous. Like it's hard to get me nervous. Shit, right? Like, look, I done been in some shootouts, right? I done been in some police pursuits. I done been in some brawls for it all. It's hard to get me nervous. I was nervous as fuck sitting next to Dion because every woman who came in, what's the sister name? Come on, Cheyenne, who has what's the name of her business? With the Yoni Steam and whatever like that. Once Dion, what's it called? What's it called?
Mystic Art.
Mystic Art. Mystic Arts. Okay. As soon as she said Yoni Steam and Dion figured out what Yoni was, he was like, yes. He had Birdman hands. He was like, oh, yeah. I was so nervous. I'm like, damn, her husband over there. I hope he don't got a gun. But Dion is the homie, man. He's an outlaw. He's against the grain, so we welcome him as well. I know he'll be calling in. Sire Williams, how you doing, my brother? Over there on the morning shift. I hope y'all doing well, man. I always share our show on you all's group, and they always embrace it. So I got love for y'all. I appreciate that. Dion said, I still don't know what Kendrick was talking about. See, you got to be thunk. I just made up a word. You got to be thunk to understand what Kendrick is saying.
You got to be woke, Dion.
Well, now we ain't going to say woke.
They love to say woke.
White people done made that bad. We gonna say you gotta be thunk now, right? Like, listen, when he tells Drake, because of Drake's need to go and be around sports figure, that he's a ball boy and told him to go fetch Gatorade. Right? When he's going on and on in his bars about all the different ways that this dude's pussy, you almost gotta listen back to some of his shit and say, oh shit, I missed that. Listen.
Even the imagery, even
go ahead, come on.
Even a lot of the imagery, you know what I'm saying? It was depicting different shit. Like when they had the black men that made up the American flag, and then he made that motherfucker split with him in the middle. It's like I'm teaching both for y'all something now, you know what I mean? They not like us, and it's two different sides to this whole thing now. It's a whole bunch of different shit that you got to really look at, you know what I mean? Remember I told you when I first watched it, man, I was first thinking he was saying something like Bloods and Crips together in this thing, but then I noticed it was bigger than that what he was pushing, you know what I'm saying? Much bigger. But then he was also throwing his shots at Drake.
And I'm just speaking on a lyrical level. I had to go back to Like That, which actually set all this off with him in Future, right? When he says, ain't no big three, it's just big me, right? But before that, he said niggas clicking up, but can't be legit nor 40 water. Now, if you know West Coast rap, you know the click from the Bay Area is E40 and Be Legit and Sugar T. I said, oh, this motherfucker right here didn't just hit me with that. What do you know about that shit?
You hear shit later. You catch shit later.
That's what
I've been a K-Dot fan for a while. You know what I'm saying? And man, he always pushing messages. Always been pushing messages like that. And that's one of the reasons why I attached to him. You know what I mean? Because he find a way to keep it street. But then he gonna teach you some shit. He gonna open your eyes up to some shit too. You know what I mean?
Well, I thought for a minute he had lost me. I thought he was a weirdo for a minute. I mean, he started talking about pimping butterflies and all this kind of shit, and I was like, yeah, you know, it was still quality to me, but I just didn't want to take the time to even figure out what he was talking about. I was just like, yeah, you know, I'm not, you know, not really like that, but. The fact that I heard Glasses Malone say people got this misconception of Kendrick Lamar like he's this really good, nice guy. He's really a mean, vindictive, vicious motherfucker. And you think about some of this shit. When you look in the camera and say Drake,
you nigga come from the Nickerson Gardens.
Well, he's not
Bounty Hunter Blood.
He's not from Nickerson.
Bounty Hunter Blood.
Where's he from? He's not from Nickerson. He's from he says it, Fruittown, I think.
Top Dog them from.
Well, he's not. He's from Compton, but I think he's from Fruittown. I think, and that's just me speculating, Kamar. But he is what I think the point of this is he's from a blood infested area. And so to grow up and survive in that area, you got to be a son of a bitch. You can't, nice guys finish last.
Be a mean motherfucker, man.
Yeah. So him just the way he's doing what he's doing to Drake is so vindictive because he's doing it surgically and strategically. And I personally am having a hard time hearing Drake's voice. Every time I hear his voice, I just hear DMX saying, I don't like Drake. I don't like his voice. I don't like his haircut. I don't like the way he walks. I just can't stop hearing DMX. Shit. I can't stop. Let me go to the chat room. He said, Mama Jenkins in the chat room. How you doing? My sister, she said, good evening, my outlaw families. I make it do what it do because it's cold outside. In Wahpeton, it's -17 with the wind chill of -24, baby. It's cold. Now, are you in Wahpeton? Because I can tell you, I've been in Wahpeton, North Dakota. I spent a year and a half in Wahpeton, North Dakota. It was so cold. I took 23 credits my last semester to graduate early, and the full time is 12. I took during football season. It's so motherfucking cold in Wahpeton North. I never seen anything like it. I'm trying to tell you, and I'm from Milwaukee, born and raised. I remember my freshman year, and I woke up one morning and they had, this is a different time, it was cable, and they would have like public access to have like the words running across the bottom of the screen or whatever, right? And so it basically said everything's closed, the highways closed off. The only thing open is the College of Science food service, so students can eat. And it was right across from my dorm. So like it was so cold, that's all you could do is go eat and go back to your room. You couldn't even get out of town. The police had the highway blocked off because it was so much snow. And they don't plow 2-lane highways like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was very cold. Well, and I know Mama Jenkins' brother is a Hall of Famer. He went there. I'm a Hall of Famer. At Science as well. So yeah, my son is in St. Bonifacius, Minnesota right now, which is probably about 2.5 hours away from Wahpeton. But every time I talk to him, he'd be like, Dad, it's so goddamn cold. I told him that Minnesota cold is different. He's figured it out. Dion, he said them pussy pearls. Whoa, he's talking about, there we go. See, that's how you tomorrow with the yoni, with the yoni joints. Man, Dion lit up. She said, Yoni, Dion said, oh my God. It's funny as hell. Jeff Crape, how you doing, my brother? How you doing? You down in Texas by way of the 414. I don't know if y'all still got snow. I hope y'all don't get any because y'all lose your goddamn mind when there's any ice. I drove through North Carolina, Tennessee. I didn't drive. My brother drove. I rode with him. We were on our way to North Carolina one time, and it was snowing. And motherfuckers down south just don't know how to drive when it's snowing. Like it was cars in ditches, people just pulling. And I'm like, dude, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was the worst ride I ever took in my life, too. Let me tell you that. I said I'll never take that ride again. Mama Jenkins said no, but my brother went to college there and I still have some friends there. Okay, yeah, I know your brother because I remember I used to look at his picture hanging up in the Hall of Fame. And I used to be like, who's this black dude from the 70s? It was black people up here in the 70s? It was crazy. He was like one of the only ones. So I seen his picture. It's crazy that I end up making your acquaintance some 30 years later. Sire said, I'm too young. I thought he was getting fresh with you. LOL. #WAP. Who we talking about? He said, I thought she was getting fresh with you. Who we talking about? What was I talking about, Kamar? Who we talking about? He thought she was getting. Yeah, he too young. He thought she was getting fresh with you. LA. I don't know. You missed me with that, my brother. Come on. Somebody tell me what the fuck's going on while the airplane's falling out the sky.
Look, I'm in Costa Rica. Need to be safe.
Well, a plane landed upside down in Canada.
You lied.
Left Minneapolis. It's in the People's News Network. Wow. Left Minneapolis, landed upside down in Toronto. 8 people were injured. It's a miracle that nobody was killed. We have planes running into each other in Arizona, in Atlanta, in Philly, in New York. We know the military helicopter. What the fuck? Listen, if you going on a trip right now, don't you get your ass on no plane. Greyhound should be taking full advantage of this shit. They should be having commercials like, hey. Well, come on, man.
Ride a train. How about a train?
He said Wapperton. Sire Williams said Wapperton. He thought she was. He said I'm too young. I thought she was getting fresh with you. WAP. Oh, because I said WAP. No, that ain't the same WAP, bro. That ain't the same WAP. There's a school in Wapperton, North Dakota called the North Dakota State College of Science, and they recruited me out of high school. They were a Division I JUCO. We were nationally ranked. D1 coaches everywhere, all day, every day. D1 players. We had the team I played on my freshman year was the winningest team and still is 9-1. We won every bowl. We whooped everybody ass. We broke like 25 records, but it was cold as a motherfucker. Once the season was over, I said, "Oh shit, this is what North Dakota means." So it ain't that WAP. It's a different one. Roger Zeldine, my West Side in the building, man. What up, Zels? He said, what's cracking lady, cuz? Zels is sea walking. I wish Zels had been on, because I'm going to talk about Serena Williams again tonight.
No.
I'm going to talk about her again tonight. I have to. I got to get in. I got to get at Serena again. He said that fool fired everybody. That's what I'm saying. Is anything, he's done so much shit that it's impossible to keep up with everything at the same time. And I know that he blamed the crash in New York on DEI, and he said it was Biden's fault, and he blamed everybody else. But now did he come in? Has he gotten rid of air traffic controllers? Is the motherfucker who usually run the radar laid off? Like, what the fuck is going on with the airplane?
I told you the head of the FAA quit.
You said the head of the FAA quit, right, Courtney?
Yeah, him and Elon Musk got into it, and he was like, "Man, fuck this shit," and left.
So there's nobody running now. Did he dismantle the FAA? I know he was like, nah, like Trump is like, yo, you fired. Like what? Trump fired the motherfuckers that handled the nuclear missiles on accident. This motherfucker.
I just read that the top Social Security official exits after clash with Musk. Like motherfuckers getting into it with Elon, and they like, "I'm not gonna deal with this shit. I'm out this bitch."
He getting rid of the IRS. Motherfuckers at the IRS who've been harassing all of us forever. During tax season, he's firing. I will never get my taxes. Man. I will never get my taxes back. I'll never get them back. Mama Jenkins said on his belly, and she said, "I got plans for Jamaica next month, but I'm canceling until we figure this shit out." I don't blame you. Westside said no crashes in 16 years. Now it's 6 in 3 weeks. What the fuck is going on? Y'all jump in this conversation. If you got information on this, please, please, please. Because like I said, I want you to be entertained. I want you to be informed, and I want you to be enlightened. So that means I don't know every goddamn thing. So if you know because I need to figure this out, right? Like what's going on?
It's definitely upside down, Kev. I see it.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I live by an airport. Yeah. I literally live 5-10 minutes from an airport. If shit's fucked up, I need to know. I don't want to be in the backyard with some rib tips on, and a Cessna comes down. Like what the fuck, man?
It might have just slid on the snow. I don't know. Let's see what happened.
Well, you don't just slide and end up upside down.
Maybe you just plane. I don't know.
Dion's on the line. Actually, he's in the chat room and on the line. Dion, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing tonight, my brother? What's good with you?
Man, that's true. Hey, I agree with you about the airplane. Like, that fucked me up. Because you know how you see shit and you just don't want to believe it. And then when you, how the fuck is this plane face up, upside down? Like, that.
What?
People are like, fuck that, getting on the plane right now.
Let's pause right there. Dion, let's pause right there. And let's say, the plane landed upside down. We're talking
face up, upside down. That's what he said.
We're talking about a 757 that lands on the freeway upside. How does this happen? What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. You would think it looked like a gust of wind blew it over. I don't know, man. That's amazing right there. But I tell you, if I was whoever owned that motherfucker and they live, they need to be talking to lawyers in the morning.
Everybody lives.
I agree. If I'm on that motherfucker, my neck and my back hurt. Look, I'm gonna have to get. Remember they used to have a blow up slide, and you just slide. You don't come down the steps. You just slide down the motherfucker. When it be something on the airplane, that's how I'm coming out. I'm coming out down the slide like, oh.
I don't even know how you like when you get on a plane, they can't even prepare you for that. You know, when you get on a plane, they be like, oh, right here, left, right, and emergency doors. Shit is up under the seat. This is the mat. You can't prepare nobody for a motherfucker flipping upside down.
Once again, that's why I reach out to the people who listen to the show. Somebody help me understand this. If we're talking about all of a sudden airplanes are crashing into each other at an airport, right?
So on the runway,
what is this a result of? Is this those DEI hires that he said was fired? That, you know, people who who were unqualified, because after you fired them, that's when shit started happening.
Yeah,
I feel this. What I feel it is like I feel like it's chaos. Like that man came in with so much chaos, is just rubbing off on the world and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the United States, especially. Like I don't even know, man. I try not to even follow dudes, listen to what's going on. Like. I don't even know. You can't. And I've tried to ignore him.
Hey,
but the more I do, the more he does. Go ahead, Kamar.
Y'all think it could have something to do with some kind of fear tactic, keeping people in fear? Because ain't that a way that they use control? Ain't that a way that they help control people by fear? Like maybe it's something that they're gonna say we need to put some money into. You know what I mean? That's gonna fix this problem that they got investments in.
They got Elon. He got all the money. They shouldn't be above for take money. Ask Elon. God damn it.
Well, I know, but but the name of the game is to make money. What I'm saying is maybe they got some money invested in something already that they finna tell everybody, look, we need to put some money into this right here. This gonna fix all the problems.
You know what, Kamar? That would be interesting if I thought they were that forward thinking. But when you accidentally fire the motherfuckers who handle nuclear weapons, I don't give you that vote of confidence. When you fire the motherfuckers who handle the missiles.
I get that. I understand you, but what I'm saying is we know that they more business savvy. They thinking money. They ain't thinking about that type shit.
I mean, making people scared.
Who are we talking about, though?
Right, because I'm not.
Who are we talking about?
Because of this.
Trump and his big money people. You know what I mean? Like maybe they know where to invest some money in, that they know that they finna have to do something big. I'm just saying, throwing that out there. Like maybe it's a reason for all this shit.
Right there.
Ain't this the question? Yeah, okay. So was all the planes falling.
It's a scenario.
So was all the planes crashing. It's far-fetched.
Well, I would just say this: never underestimate a conspirator to launch a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And Trump is a convicted felon, so he is a conspirator, right? Like, don't they say? Don't they say when you're a convicted criminal, you conspire to commit a crime, right? So I would never put anything behind it. I'm saying I don't know that this is that well thought out. I personally don't give them the credit of being that forward thinking. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I'm looking at like it'll have to be somebody that design aviation, you know, because Elon Musk ain't got no airplane so far, and they about to get him a hunt now. What they did do was invest another $150 billion into the military, which they budget was already $800 billion, so now it's $950 billion. But that $150 billion is supposed to be going to Elon because he got some type of unmanned Hummers or whatever, some type of electric vehicle that he wants.
That's the same type of shit I just said.
You know, but we talking about
type of shit I just said.
But we talking about aviation.
Same type of plane. That's the same thing. You talking about cars? These is planes. It's the same shit. I'm just talking about where they could be investing money. Now, I'm not saying that this is what's happening. I'm just throwing a lob out there like, hey, maybe it could be something going on. Because we are sitting here asking this question, why is all this shit happening? So I'm throwing a conspiracy that could be out there. And see, Dion, you just mentioned another conspiracy, right? In a different field with automobiles. And like I said, it's the same shit.
The only reason I would
what I'm saying.
The only reason I would disagree with that is because it was working before you came. So I don't know that there's a flaw in the technology. Like my man said, we didn't have any crashes until you motherfuckers showed up. So the technology obviously is not flawed, but I do understand you're saying that if they do, if say Elon Musk and some of their big money partners came up with this navigation system that they want to be standardized on American aircraft, they can now justify that by saying, if we put this in here, this plane will never land on its top, right? Like it won't land.
Yeah, that's why I rock on this show. That's why I've been on this show for so long, man. Because eventually you get what I'm saying, what I be trying to say.
Eventually, right? I hear everybody. What I'm talking about, man. I hear everybody. That's why I always be hollering for peace. Like I hear everybody. Like I hear everybody's perspective. There's no need to yell. Right. There's no need to yell.
I was saying nobody wrong. I was just throwing a lob out there because we asked the question, why is this happening?
That's your position, and you're welcome to it on Outlaw Radio.
Elon Musk supposed to be releasing some type of biggest AI from next Monday.
Well, he's attempting to purchase like all AI. He basically wants to commandeer all AI contracts so that it goes directly through him, and that way he can manipulate it. Y'all know, listen, hold on. First of all, I didn't think about this, and I should have said this weeks ago, and I hate when I miss something. I was listening to Chris Rock's monologue on Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary, and he said Trump has turned over some of the most pivotal information and offices to an African American, because Elon Musk is an African American, because white Boers are he's South African. Chris Rock said
he's an Afrikaner.
Well,
he's an Afrikaner.
Technically, it's semantics. He's a South African. They define themselves as Africans. He is an African American. See, this is why I'm not an African American. He's an African American, right? And so he said nobody know how to get rid of people like South Africans. I said that shit's genius. That's why. And Trump has turned this shit over and even offered the white people in South Africa refuge in America. But you want to get rid of people. I said refuge. That's what refuge is. But how you offer them and you getting rid of people? Like everybody's confused. Everybody's confused. Let me see. Let me catch my chat room, y'all.
They get rid of other people so they could put more white faces over here.
Exactly.
To help prolong their.
What a mixture. You got Ukrainians who are neo-Nazis and South Africans. You want that mix in the hood.
They'll get the fuck they white.
Westside said this is their start. He said they begin into them ripping off the USA. I mean us, you and me. Sayer said they setting up Amazon to take over air travel. Mama Jenkins said everybody alive, but those people he fired and the missile workers won't even answer calls. Okay. He said the bank is being robbed. This is Westside. He said they never thought it out. What is this Rick J man bullshit? I don't know what that means. Zella Westside, you gotta slow it down. Mama Jenkins said I caught that too. I said about Elon Musk. That's what we got a lot going on here in the city. Man, I never run out of material. Y'all share the show because we got to talk about Milwaukee. Obviously, the show is based on Milwaukee. And so we always have to talk about what's going on in Milwaukee. And for a very long time, we've been discussing the fraud of our leadership, the ineffective nature of our elected officials. And if you really take stock on it, this comes from the mayor's office all the way down the line. Shit rolls downhill. The mayor, and when the young man, the brother, who was obviously suffering from some mental health issues, walking down the street with an AK-47, shooting up in the air, right? as black as I am, I'm here to say if you do that, when the police get there, they're probably going to shoot you. Right?
I thought it was a suicide mission. That's how I took it.
Well, I guess he was a former Marine, according to his dad, and he was suffering from some PTSD. And this blame could go towards, we have a lot of mentally ill people here who are diagnosed but not serviced, and some that are not diagnosed. But when you hear that somebody's walking down the street and it was like cold as fuck outside, the AK-47 shooting it up in the sky, you tend to assume that he or she is suffering from mental health issues, right?
And they white.
And he shot a police officer, and he himself was killed. Condolences to his family. His dad talked about the fact that he's needed help for a very long time. They weren't able to get that for him. But our mayor says, well, shit, it's sad that the cop and the dude got killed. He's sad for everybody.
Damn, the cop died too, that got shot?
No, I'm talking about the shooter got killed. The cop suffered serious wounds. So it's what he said was, it's a shame that the cop was shot and that dude got killed. And people were mad. They were saying, what the fuck are you talking about, bruh? What are you talking about? All right. We talk about him saying he doesn't know about certain things that he knows about. Case in point, the housing authority of the city of Milwaukee, on the verge of going bankrupt as we speak, just announced that they've come up with $100,000 settlement. They don't say how much it is, for people who are living in one of their developments who suffer from bed bugs, a bed bug epidemic, to the point where people had to go to the doctor and get bed bugs taking out their ear.
I seen that. I read that over on 35th and Highland.
Yes.
In College Court. There we go.
Remember when our mayor came on TV and said, I don't really know. That's why we came up with the thing when he said, you bullshit. They tell me, mayor, what? I didn't know that shit. He said, I thought they was doing
straight
that.
Up. Straight up.
You bullshit. You bullshit. But he allowed his friend, Willie Hines, to escape and retire with $1 million pension on our buck. It's our tax money that's paying. That was
him helping out black folk. You know what I'm saying?
That is inexcusable. There's guilt by complicitness.
Helping niggas.
What did Willie do wrong?
He obviously he did not run this agency to the point where they fucked off the federal money to pay their staff. That's a whole other thing. The feds had to come in and take over rent assistance. Dude, listen, I've worked with people to get them signed up for affordable housing, to get them signed up for the housing authority. The waiting list just opened last December after several years, and some of those people still have not heard an inkling. There were people who I signed up a year ago, so I still haven't heard anything. That is a direct result of the mismanagement of the program that assigned people to where they could live, HUD and all that. You're mismanaging how you fumble the bag so much that you use the federal money to pay your staff. So people don't get to move in because you had to pay a secretary. This is mismanagement. This is what they call malfeasance.
Who's to say that he did it though? He's just a head.
Well, whoa. That's like saying that the head coach ain't responsible for the team winning.
Do you think a CEO of a Fortune 500 company like the motherfucker that run Walmart?
Housing Authority is not a Fortune 500 company. It's not a Fortune 500.
It's an entity though. It's a big ass entity.
Hey Dion, I worked for the Housing Authority. Have you ever worked there?
No, I live.
But I worked for them. I've been in the office. I've been to meetings. I've been to funding meetings. I was there when I was there when they brought HUD in to tell the people in Hillside that they were going to reorganize when they first built the stadium. I was there when it was puppy-sized rats in the summer laying on the grass in front of people's house. And I was pulling up to go to work.
He said puppy-sized.
Puppy-sized rats. They moved us to an office in the high rise. We walked in there. It's a dead rat on the floor. And then to have the director of HR to tell us, oh, y'all just spoiled. Y'all gonna trip on that? I'm looking around like I got a fucking master's degree in older government dollars. You think I did all that to work in a place where it's a dead ass rat when I come in with my lunch in the morning? It is mismanaged. There were so many vacant apartments. I had clients at that time who said they had bed bugs and that they had been calling and they got no help. I know a lady who had her door hurt. She had no lock on her front door for like 2 years. She's putting a chair behind her door, sleeping in the house with her kids in the projects. It's mismanaged. Now, if you go to a meeting with them, food, hors d'oeuvres, refreshments, the mayor, all the big wigs, everybody celebrate. The mayor, I used to laugh, man. I used to laugh when Mayor Norquist would come in there. I'm sorry, Mayor Baird would come in there, and it'd be black people. You know, we can't help it, man. A lot of us who revolutionaries, they say we militants. When that mayor comes, oh Lord, his dad's the mayor.
Yeah, they be
I'm gonna give him my number, and he'd be like, oh, I'll call you. I'm like, that motherfucker ain't gonna call you. And they be looking at me like,
I remember I used to go to the meetings. That was part of living in Westline.
Exactly.
Mayor Barrett, I met Joe Davis.
So how has he made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for the last, I don't know how long. And he has staff members that are handsomely decorated, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. But the thing that you actually do, which is put people in apartments, is not working. And you saying as the CEO, he didn't have nothing to do with it. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, I feel like that.
That's bullshit. That's an excuse. You're giving him a way out. And then for him to retire, and they gave him enough time because the feds took this shit over 2 years ago. He should have been gone then. The mayor gave him time to retire so he can live off of his pension. $70-some thousand a month for the rest of his life. He even said, you know what made me retire? I was in Mexico at my brother's house, and he had a nice pool, and he lives on a beach. And I said, you know what? I should retire. And that's what he did. And his motherfuckers with bed bugs in their ear. You telling me he ain't know nothing about that, Dion? I disagree. Let me go to the chat room.
I don't think he knew about every little intricate detail that was far as going on.
Then you're not talking to your cabinet. You ain't talking to who do you have in? Come on, man. You said he didn't talk to nobody.
He didn't know Cheryl Davis probably didn't have no heat on a refrigerator. Because when you go through certain things, if you got any problems with the housing authority, now I'm talking, you work there, but I'm talking to somebody that lives there. If I had anything that was going on that needs to transpire, I call the office. You know what I'm saying? I might talk to Ms. Brown. Right. I might talk to Ms. Brown, or I might talk to Yolanda. Yeah. They gonna send a worker out to my apartment to see if they can address the issues that need to be addressed. I lived in Westline from 2012 to 2016 till they tore it down, and I never had no problems there.
Okay, now, so let me ask you this question. So you're saying nobody reports out, because when I was there at the meetings we would be at, everything was data driven. Everything was reported. So the maintenance people had to come. They had to address. We took complaints. I took complaints to the lease office. I did it. The program I was in, I was directly related to how much they paid a month to live there, because I was a job coach. So we worked, and I would work with the leasing. It's a whole nother issue. There was people who'd be like, Mr. Barnes, I've been begging them for 2 years to renew my lease. They haven't renewed it. I've been paying them faithfully, and they're telling me I got an eviction notice because I ain't paid my rent. And I got all the blank checks right here. And I would call the leasing office and say, look, here's the tenant, here's her address, here's her whatever, her information. And they say, well, she got an eviction notice. I say, yeah, but I'm sitting here holding a bunch of blank checks, cash checks, not blank, but cash checks that she paid her rent. And they didn't know. And the report comes out that they lost those people's money, and they was evicting people, and people had been paying their rent. You telling me Willie Hines didn't know about none of that?
Well, I'm not saying that he didn't know about, but every little intricate detail he probably wasn't aware of.
And you don't think the feds told him when they got there and they said that it's borderline fraud, how they were running the whole thing? You don't think they told, we ain't going to tell Willie. We're going to tell everybody else. We're going to put it in the Journal Sentinel and not tell him.
Okay. All right. Everything agreed upon on that. But where did the money go then? Where did the money go? I don't hear about nobody in fault $1 million mansions and $200,000 Ferraris and this, that, and other. So if the money was mismanaged, where did it go?
Now, my sister Aisha Carr said it ain't stolen, it's misplaced.
Just misplaced. Just gotta find it. Where did it
Where is
go?
it?
God damn it.
And we can go from there to MPS. I don't know, because I'm breaking it down how this whole city, our leadership in every department is just fugazi. Like
that's a black lady for MPS too. I want y'all to know that.
Is she black? I don't care. I don't care if she's black. I don't care if she's black. I don't care if she's black. Zaire said I would have flipped. He said I would have flipped a snack table over. Man, once again, the things I seen, because like Dion's talking about when he moved out of West Lawn, I was there for the annexation of it. So they had all the people from Washington, the hood people. They had I'm telling you, this was a big event, Kamar. They set up tents. We had every food truck in the city.
Oh.
They had snacks, they had entertainment. The mayor was there. My coworker was being honored because she had worked herself out of being a tenant and bought her own house after doing time in prison. And I didn't even know that. And she was like, yo, they done so many write-ups. They called her up to talk. I said, damn. It was a bunch of people there. And they were celebrating how effective and how much better these new buildings were than what they had before. And they knew at that time that it was mismanaged. Tony
should have told tenants. Had tenants show up at the bust the party of bed bugs and shit coming out the shirt. Somebody should have.
Man, them tenants came out there and got that free food off them food trucks.
Damn.
Them kids got them balloons. And them black people didn't give a shit. And then when you talk to one of them,
why you eating the food? Say, we got bed bugs in here, right? You got to go get the food.
Well, that's inside. The food was outside. Now, a lot of them will sneak up to us and say, hey, Mr. Barnes, they need to come do something about this sink that flood out on my kitchen floor every month. And I keep calling them and they won't come do it. People saying my front door still won't close. I ain't got no screens. They was saying that to us, but they was getting that food, making sure them kids got some ice cream and some balloons and got their face painted. And they
got to bust the party up and then still take the shit, man. You got to yell it up while they sitting up there with the mic. So why we still got bed bugs then? And then we still go get some food and ice cream. We bust this shit up. I'm just amazed that Dion says this brother hadn't heard any of this. Because we're not talking about now. Keep in mind, I've been gone there, y'all. Let's put some time frames on this. I've been gone from there since 2019. And that's what was going on then. It's 2025. He just retired. You telling me after all this time he hadn't heard none of this shit? When it's been on the news, it's been in the newspaper. You had to know the feds had taken over a portion of your organization and they were now running it and they accused you all of fraud. You had to know. There's no way, unless you are the densest, dumbest motherfucker ever, in which case you shouldn't have had the job in the first place. I'm like Trump, you a DEI hire. Mama Jenkins said, no, he shouldn't have had that job in the first place. He did not do shit as the Common Council president. They made him a spot. Was on his way out to City Hall before he got that job from Chevy. Absolutely. This is cronyism at its finest. Earl Henning said the future of dumb shit. He knew that. Westside said that's why he resigned. Vince Tony in the chat room, he said, what up, Outlaws? How you doing, Vince? How you doing? Earl Henning is in the chat. He said, I can't. Courtney, you better with emojis. That's a rat. Okay. The rat's still available for the people to see. Okay. Speaking of rats, I'm all over the place tonight. Like Meats, where we going? Are we talking about 50 Cent or something?
I gotta go to Big Meats because Kamar gets one of these. I'm just going. I give it up. I'm transparent. No Diddy. I said I give it up. No Diddy. I give him his props because I don't keep up with bozo ass shit, right?
Oh,
and I never thought that we should give a fuck about Big Meech anyways. As a matter of fact, I'm one of these individuals who gets tired of hearing people who claim the fame is that I sold tons of crack to y'all in the 80s. And now you a hero. I don't want to watch your fucking miniseries. I don't want to talk to you. But hold on. Let me give Kamar's props. Let me give Kamar's props. Because when I referenced that last week and I did not know a lot about it, Kamar said, I believe this is some street shit based on this lady who after the show, I did some research and then I did figure out that that's what it's about. This is about him using a lady to allegedly set up some other people to get his freedom. So it's like secondhand snitching, I'm guessing. you really set some people up, but you didn't do it
I ain't
directly.
say
But
nothing.
this lady, that's what she does. So I want to give Kamara's credit because I said I don't believe that. I thought it was just grown men mad because another grown man was hanging with another. Like, how you get mad at another grown man for who we hang with? But and we'll talk about the rat shit anyways. Like, everybody, you a rat, whatever, like that. And there's no what they call it, no honor amongst criminals, right? And so,
right. Hey, 50 was calling him a rat because of that. I was just calling him when I first seen it. I was calling him a rat because I felt like that was foul how he wouldn't start fucking with Rick Ross like that, and he knew how 50 got down for him while he was locked up.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying. Also read that it was $5 million somewhere. 50 they put in the family hands and they blew it.
Okay,
you know what I mean. He put his son on. You know what I'm saying. So I'm like, man, there had to have been something deeper going on. You know what I'm saying? And why he just figured like, no, I'm just finna end this shit.
Courtney, was you trying to put in there?
His son ain't finna get no more money. Like, can you really see Little Meech being hired for anything else? Like, this was his come up, being able to do a BMF shit. But if he ain't saved none of that damn money, it ain't like he finna be a rapper. I don't.
But he's okay. So he's an actor. Go act in something else. Like,
well, he's an actor, man.
50, I guess 50 sent him to acting.
I'm sure he can catch some. Hey, I'm sure he could catch some Tubi action.
I was gonna say he get a little Tubi movie now. Look,
I'd watch it because I've never watched that shit.
Tubi action, like, he'll pop off on Tubi, boy. Little man,
he better get on the phone expeditiously and call Tyler Perry and be like, I'm available.
yeah, Tyler put him on, but I feel like 50 a bitch ass nigga. And also this about Big Meech. Now I don't know how much time.
Hold on, let me merge these. Let me see if I merged. Dion, hold on. Let me make sure I merged. I think I cut Dion off trying to answer the phone. I hate when my phone be acting light-skinned. My phone act just like Drake sometimes.
I want him to say why he think 50 a bitch ass nigga.
I gotta get it back. I tried to merge a call. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what he done heard that I ain't heard.
It might be just the way he be acting. I always thought 50 was a bitch ass nigga. And I told y'all, I always wanted somebody to beat 50 Cent up. And ain't nobody did it yet. He just be doing some sucker shit sometimes. They be like, man. So.
Yeah, my phone is on one. I need for both of y'all to just call me back.
Well, I don't think he did nothing but talk shit about people. And he been doing that since he came in the game.
Yeah.
His first song was talking about robbing everybody in the game. He dissed everybody on the way in. He been a troll his whole life. That's what he do. I mean, I don't think being a troll make you a bitch ass nigga.
Well,
be a troll and then hide your hand.
We got to get rid of this fixation on loving street niggas. Hey, I need for both of y'all to call me back because my phone just went berserk on me. So
call me now.
Right, call me now. So both of y'all hit me back because I know it was Ewok on the line and I had Dion on the line. So y'all hit me back. We are so fixated with the street shit. Like we can't. These brothers over 50. You know, and nobody's calling a spade a spade. Nobody's saying, what are we really fighting over here? Like I seen somebody saying, well, okay, so Big Meech don't get to come home and make if $5 million came through his family's hands because of this show, I'm sure 50 Cent made more. See, we talk about what a colonizer is. We talking about who's the real colonizer, right? They say it be your own people. And people say, no, 50 a real nigga. He a real nigga. Well, okay. The best revenge is massive success. So Lil Meech, move on. How you ain't standing with your daddy? How you not saying I don't give a fuck how much money he done gave us, man? You don't get to disrespect my pops, man. You still trying to cop a plea. Right? And Big Meech
paid me for my work. And you know what I mean? I feel like as long as he paid them for the work, you know what I mean? Whatever the contract says, you know what I mean? Shit, he don't owe nothing else.
Well, I mean, if you didn't,
as long as he fulfilled the contract,
should have signed a better contract then.
They be blowing that damn money buying them stupid ass cars and shit.
That's supposed to be long-term ownership if it's your life rights. I'm not just gonna sign because somebody gonna give me a lump sum. You talking about my life rights, man. I want to make sure we got long-term ownership. This ain't just for the old show to be on.
Straight up.
You cancel it all you want. The rerun, you better not play no rerun or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He said, Nickelback gets souls in the park. I want in. You guys got fat while I starved in prison.
Damn, so he had Tammy snitching on everybody for him, and now Tammy out here snitching on him to 50, to the world. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
She giving...
Wait, say that again, Courtney. Let me understand it.
Tammy.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what I hear is,
you know, he had Tammy.
This is my research.
She is
an individual who goes in, but they said she goes in and brokers deals with people. This is what she does. Like she goes in and she said, okay, let me get the life rights to your story or whatever. I don't know. This is what I heard. And they were saying that she is the one who would go to people and set up these deals. So he started working with her, and basically in order for her to get him a deal, he had to give up somebody. I don't know. Y'all tell me if that's what it is. I'm too old for this shit, so I don't really understand.
I don't like reading paperwork. That'd be too
one of his boys that he was real close with, or who he used to serve, was serving or something. He got her to do something with him and get him jammed up.
Okay. Dion, are you back now? I think I saw.
Man, what the fuck? That motherfucker blew, and it just kept going to voicemail. Who you threw, Kev?
The same motherfuckers who you threw when you be having that cheap ass gas station headset on when your shit be going in and out. I only trying to criticize my technology.
I be going through flatlands though up there up north, and them people ain't got no cell phone.
Everybody got an excuse. So, now my shit fuck up once, then it's who your phone through.
So I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like me, I look at it like this: as far as Big Meech, whoever, these was niggas that made it in a game, and even though they went to jail, but they still lived a goddamn good life in a game where it wasn't really supposed to meant for a nigga to live. You get metric tons of cocaine shipped in. You fucking the finest bitches, driving the best cars, got money. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, after going through all that, because he knew that people was going to come holler at him one day, that he had sense enough maybe to put some money in a grave or something. See, when you move it like that, you got to move strategically, but you got to move in silence too. But I just, even though, and then back to what y'all was saying about 50, regardless of whatever he did, 50 got too much money. He just be on bitch shit, dog. It's like certain shit that you be on, like you ain't even got to respond to it. You know what I'm saying? I lost a lot of respect for dude. I mean, I really only a 50 Cent to get rich or die trying. After that, I ain't give a fuck about nothing else he did. You know what I'm saying? But just to see, even like when he did that with Floyd Mayweather, that wasn't pimpish, man. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't, real niggas don't do shit like that. You know, we just stop fucking with you, and that's it. We wish you all the success and love it is. You know what I'm saying?
But you said he was a bitch. You said he was a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, he a bitch ass.
He be doing bitch ass shit. Deion said he don't like
We're
that.
talking about 50 Cent.
Tell me some bitch ass shit he did.
Yeah,
even that shit with Floyd Mayweather. He said that was some bitch.
Yeah, he did. Like, if
what did he do? What was the situation?
Y'all wasn't listening to Deion. He said.
What was the situation with Floyd Mayweather?
Hello, and Meech was.
You know they're supposed to be friends and shit.
Hold on, y'all. Let's not talk over each other. Deion, explain why he's a rat.
I'm saying that Meech was a rat. Who business is it for 50 to try to put that out there and try to, you know what I'm saying, discredit that man for who he is? You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is he to do that type of shit?
Well,
that ain't what niggas do in the streets.
If you heard what Kamar said, though, he said it was initially the whole, you're going to go pose with my enemy after I done took care of your family and you a rat, I'm exposing you. It's that. It's, I took care of your people while you was locked down. I put your son through acting school. I created this show so you can make what they call a bag, I guess, off of what you did to your own people. And you got the nerve to come home and get with the prison guard who you know I got issues with. Now, I haven't heard Big Meech talk about the nature of the deal. I haven't heard him say, yeah, he tell y'all $5 million, but when he start talking about incidentals and he talk about how the contracts is actually, we only got 1.5 out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know the nature of the deal So I don't know. Now I did manage to get Ewok in. Ewok, you with us?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. I'm right here.
What you
Your
got
man
going?
right here. And Dion right. 50 Cent needs to sit down and shut up and relax, man. Come on. Big ballers don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I thought in the streets, nigga. Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought niggas in the streets call out snitches when they find out they snitching. Or do they not?
They are supposed to.
He do this with everybody
Yes,
though.
yes,
It ain't even just snitches. He do this
Hold
shit with everybody.
on. I just asked the question. Because we talking about he did some bitch ass shit. He a bitch ass nigga for this. So correct me if I'm wrong. The bitch ass nigga would be the snitch.
Ideally.
But
Where
Dion
y'all at on
also
the
said
phone?
Dion said he was a bitch ass nigga for the shit he did with Floyd Mayweather. So that was before the snitch shit.
And
that
look
was,
under the
So,
pretenses that he did it.
but I also asked, what was the situation? What went down with Floyd Mayweather? And nobody answered that either.
they were supposed to
Ain't
be
nobody
friends.
answering none of my questions tonight.
They were supposed to be
Ain't
friends.
nobody answering one of my questions tonight.
I can answer that one for you though, Kamar.
Yeah.
I can answer what
I just want to know what happened.
he made fun of Floyd not being able to read. Like he has this is the thing. He has influence. He has a large platform. And so he launched a campaign against Floyd that it turned him into a meme. It's the A minor all over again. Remember what was the thing he had where he had the letter that Floyd had wrote to him, and it was like just the most third grade shit you ever seen. And this for memes was even actually a thing. And you don't like I'm hearing from these brothers saying,
But it's
not like that. We don't.
They were supposed to be friends.
Which one of y'all ain't talking about no nigga?
Not on the internet.
Which one of y'all ain't talking about no nigga?
I didn't put it on the internet. I didn't put it out there. I didn't tell everybody about your mama. I didn't tell and I might know, but I ain't telling. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's dry snitching. You telling everybody I can't read. I can't.
Yeah, just because we didn't got into it, so now I'm
If
finna
I'm
blast
correct,
you
man,
online.
something happened though before that. If I'm correct, something happened before that.
No, they were friends before that. And they got
Floyd was in jail.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure they wasn't friends kicking it. And then one day he woke up and said, "Hey man, y'all, Floyd Mayweather can't read."
Remember Floyd was in jail? Remember Floyd had to do a year for hitting his girl or whatever? Because this is, and I was up on this because at the time we were talking about it on the show. Floyd had to go away.
Wait a minute. He hit his girl?
Yeah,
that was some bitch ass shit right there to talk
about. Allegedly. Well, we never said Floyd wasn't a bitch. We talking about 50. Now, while he was gone,
I know. I'm getting to the point.
While he was gone, 50 was supposedly handling his business. Like 50 was a big part of money team? Is that what it's called? And he says he came home and found out that 50 had been doing some backdoor shit, including trying to promote fighters and not cut Floyd in on it and making money off. Like he was making money on deals for money team and wasn't counting him in. So when Floyd came home, he cut it all off and was like, cuz you foul. And so they clashed from there. So there's accusations going both ways. Now I wasn't there. And that's why I hate arguing about niggas who make more money than me. Like, cause I really don't give a shit either way, but I feel like 50 is the king of petty. I do. I feel like it's hard to stay relevant in this culture without doing something, right? Like, and so, because when the last time he really sold records? So
he been selling TV shows and movies.
You got to do something else. You got to do something else, and social media is very important for celebrities now. So to have an Instagram that pops, to have a social media where you can just go on and destroy a nigga, that's important. You know what I'm saying? In the game he's playing. But I do think he's super petty. And I think a lot of shit he does, like first of all, with the whole recording niggas on the phone, like when he did Young Buck and had him crying on the phone and shit. I was like, oh, that's foul for a nigga to do that to you. Like you call him and you airing your whole feelings out and the whole time he recording it. And then he plays it back.
Yeah, that's weak.
And I'm thinking that we friends or used to be friends. Like that shit is, man.
If he felt Meech was If he felt Meech was a snitch, he shouldn't have embraced him, period. Like, I ain't fucking with you. I did business with your son. Woo, that's all it is. He wait till he go fuck with Rick Ross and then try to do that shit. So under the pretenses, that's fag ass shit. But what I don't like, and me and my guy, we was talking about that shit. We was like, am I wrong if a motherfucker got problems with you, he ain't got no problems with me? Why should I be mad at him though? You know what I'm saying?
Because the friend of my enemy is my enemy.
And I thought we ain't supposed to be fucking with rats and snitches and shit.
You're not supposed to. If you're
he asked about a girl. Hey, it's a text thread that's out with him and Lil Meech where he asked him, who is Tammy Collins? Like, he been asking them, giving them chances to come clean. You know what I mean? And they ain't been coming clean about the shit.
But why you think his son?
He asked Meech about who was the chick because he trying to find out, should I even be fucking with this rat?
Well, Courtney,
I don't right?
The answer to Courtney's question is, I think his son is just catching strays. Courtney, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I'm like,
what? But he's because daddy done fucked up the bag. Daddy done fucked the money up. Like, nigga, what is you doing?
Right.
Like, and I do say this. It's my Malcolm X argument. If 50 had done anything for him, I feel like when he came home, he shouldn't have done anything against 50 off top. Now, if they couldn't get into it, if they couldn't, come to an understanding about the business, I could see him doing this. But you just came home and you jumped right with Rick Ross, knowing that this man enemy, like, we start talking about loyalty and betrayal and shit like that. So it makes, when somebody is petty with you, you get petty with them sometimes. Like, we all just become very just like petty, and we just, what they call it, a sword fight, right? Like, it's a pissing contest. And with snitching, listen, I remember a time that if you was a snitch, nobody in the street fuck with you. Like, if the word was out, anytime somebody bring your name up, hey man, I heard that motherfucker. Man, this motherfucker, and they had your whole shit. Man, he been to jail like 5 times, and I know my guy was with him. Cats find your paperwork. It wasn't even no internet.
And who you snitched on might depend if you getting your ass whooped.
Yeah, why the if dude Meech such a snitch, why the paperwork ain't out here?
It is. See,
why does man? I ain't seen it on the internet, but I ain't been looking for it either though.
See, but I haven't either. But it's in my algorithm.
That's why you ain't seen it, Dion, because you ain't been looking for it. You ain't looked for it.
Well, I'm in the Podverse, Dion. Dion, go watch. Wasn't not Choke No Joke, because I don't like him. What's the other dude?
I don't know what type of Podverse you in.
No, go on YouTube. This is one of the biggest YouTube dudes. What's his name? With the drip. He's always saying.
I watch people like Karen Hunter, Roland Martin.
Hell no, I don't fucking watch Roland Martin. Fuck out of here.
Tone talk. I don't look.
No,
at
this dude.
Like
this dude. I can't.
Internet.
No, it's not gossip. It's when I see something saying, "Here's the truth behind these accusations." And I can't remember his brother's name. And I watch Star too. So when they say, no, we got the paperwork, we've read it. And his name is listed in the paperwork. It says Demetrius Flannery. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. What is dude's name, man? I watch his shit all the time. But he's not a fugazi nigga.
I remember when we first talked about it, I said, man, look, 50 ain't gonna call him no rat if he ain't got no paperwork, no paper trail on that shit. When he get petty with a motherfucker, he got a paper trail on him.
But people don't see
it's always been like that.
People being rats nowadays, people don't seem to care as much. And I seen a video the other day that informants make a nice amount of money, actually. That's why they be looking all fly. So I was like, oh, they make a nice little amount if that was true.
Well, once 169 did what he did, culturally, what he did, that whole situation, and then he came home, and there were several people who affiliated themselves with him again. And so I think snitching just became the norm. But I want to tell y'all this because I get tired of people talking crazy who ain't never been in the streets. Snitching ain't new, and niggas been snitching on each other forever. There's Italian mobsters who turned over on the whole goddamn Cosa Nostra. Because the reality is,
Sammy the Bull.
Yeah, there you go. Because there's when they sit you down with them football numbers in front of you, you got a choice to make. And you start thinking about
career decision time.
I don't want to die. Even the biggest killer that all these dudes give credit to, Alpo. How many dudes? Alpo came home and was riding through Harlem, and of course he got killed. But I'm just saying
he got killed for slapping a motherfucker up.
Well, we don't know why. We don't know why he got killed, but I'm just saying. And what's
they did. They told it.
What's the other brother? What's the other brothers who was supposed with Fat Cat, who was the real killer, who ended up they sent the dude to kill a cop.
Happy Mason.
Happy Mason. He's a snitch.
Happy Mason.
He's a snitch. Like this has been going on for a very long time. I got a family member who did 13 years because one of my other family members told on him. Right?
God.
This been going on. But like Kamar said, the only insurance that we used to have is that was cause for dismissal. You can't be nowhere on the street. You ain't anybody do business with you and go to jail. They say that's what you get. Fucking with that snitch ass dude, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what you supposed to. That's what you was supposed to do.
That's what
you know what I mean. You find out about a motherfucker, you supposed to let everybody know.
Yeah,
this nigga get out and have some more. This nigga get out and have some more. The homies locked up.
Well, you won't even know. And I tell y'all something else, that there's probably somebody who you love right now, that's your partner, that's still in the streets, that you think is a real one, and he's a snitch, and probably cooperating as we speak. He's probably somewhere in the back of a police car right now, telling. And that's why your best bet is to stop doing crime. Boycott the prison.
Straight up.
Or when you do get caught and somebody snitches on you, go and do your time. Oh, this motherfucker did it. No, you did it. He told on you.
Now you ain't
Go do your time. Or else sit your motherfucking ass down somewhere. What they say, if you can't do the crime, don't do the time. That's it.
Ooh, they say why do 10 when you get to a friend.
Right. I mean, who was that? Earl Henny? He said, why do 10 when you can give it to a friend?
Straight up.
Why do 40 when you give it to your homie?
Man. What's this dude named Zip? No, his name ain't Zip. I'm gonna find this dude because he's credible, but I seen the paperwork there, and then I listened to 50 Cent. Because I'm like, I want to see if this is real. But there's I
still don't believe it though.
I believe it because when you get involved in this kind of thing, man, because there's another brother who we ain't bringing up, and I can't remember his name. He was the one supposedly set up by. I've heard his interview. He is the one named in the paperwork actually as the one who was set up by. What's the lady name? Kamar? What's her name? What's her name? Tammy. He's the one who was set up, and he's like,
Tammy
this is
Collins.
real, right? Tammy Collins. But there's another brother who, and he's all. See, I try to keep my eyes on the prize, but every now and then I find myself, like I said, on some ratchet shit, looking at a Sexy Red video or listening to.
Hey, you know what? I was listening to Sexy Red and Bruno Mars. But I'm gonna tell you this though too, Kev, and I don't mean to change the subject. I just want you to. That's why. No, for real though, Kev, for real though. Check it out, right? Check it out real quick. So I was listening. I tell you, I listened to Sirius XM satellite radio, and I was listening to channel 126. Now I'm gonna go do some investigation on it and check it out though. But it's a dude on there named Clay something. I can't remember, but I'll be watching him on YouTube too. But then what is Clay name? Kane, Clayton, or something like that. But anyway, they was talking about Booker T. Washington today. And they said, well, Booker T. Washington ain't this hero that we proclaim in the beat. They said he sold niggas out and all type of shit. I was like, what? So you be finding out shit about people as time go on. So I don't know though, because I did, like when it came down to Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois, I had took Booker T. Washington's side because I felt like we as black people, no matter how smart we get, we would never be able to fit in white society through education. Like he was what you call a black boule or whatever y'all call that shit. But Booker T. Washington wanted us to learn vocational skills so we can work with our hands and stuff like that. So, but now, you know, I'm gonna go back and probably listen to the show later on and see what it's all about and be like, damn, Booker T really did that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know,
Well,
it's just some food for thought.
if anybody who doesn't know what Dion is referencing is something we discussed on the show, what they call a compromise, the Great Compromise, in which Booker T. Washington gave a speech and saying he was, I believe, in Atlanta, and his whole thing was, listen, we want to make sure that we can get jobs. So don't worry about giving us civil rights. Don't worry about us even trying to get any equality. Just let us work. Just let us be, you know, farmers, and let us be masons, and let us learn vocational skills, like Dion said. But W.E.B. Du Bois, who was the first PhD, the first black PhD, was saying, nah, we should be able to be lawyers, accountants. We should be able to be businessmen. Why would we only be limited to do one thing? Now, I think that was both right. The crime is that they weren't able to come to an understanding between each other, because they went back and forth in the media. I always say that was the first Biggie and Tupac. They went back and forth with each other, but then you find out that W.E.B. kind of left and went, and you know, he was with started the NAACP with the Spring Arm, Joel Spring Arm, and he actually admitted that he affiliated himself with the United States government to conspire against black intellectuals, supporting Marcus Garvey, which is a faux pas. So, but that is the conversation. So I applaud you on that, Dion, because that is something very pivotal.
What's a faux pas? What is a faux pas?
A faux pas is just a way of saying fuck up. It's a faux pas.
Oh, okay.
It's just a way of saying you fucked up, right? So, but yeah, I've always looked into that. I've always looked into that as well, Dion. I thought that was very interesting. I thought two black men arguing over our fate, right? And their egos wouldn't allow them to sit down at a table and say, let's create a happy medium. If Booker T. Washington, you're working in education, all I want you to do is have a liberal arts part of it too. So every black man don't want to be a mason, a mason with bricks and masonry, and he don't want to be a farmer. His ass want to go up north and be an executive. He wants to be a lawyer. He wants to be a doctor. He wants to be a teacher. Why can't we be intellectuals? I don't understand why they wouldn't, you know, figure out some way to make that work. Ewok, you hitting this back.
It's crazy though when you sit back and look at everything. It always, like, this is the conclusion I had. I said, damn, like, we ain't really did too much on our own. It always been white philanthropy behind it. You feel what I'm saying? They was talking about how dude, they gave him some money, like damn near. In this day and term, it would have been a lot more money. But back then, it was $550,000 to start the Tuskegee University. Then they gave him like another $150,000 for his personal benefit. This Booker T, and like his kids went to European universities, not in Europe, but they went to white universities and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, like, why always got to be somebody to compromise us and not always there for us? And then when you hear how dude and breaking it down, I can understand why white folks probably feel the way they do now. Like, oh, racism ended. Oh, they just need to get over it and move ahead and get your job. Y'all lazy. Y'all, you know, I could really see that though, because this was a seed planted in their head back then about us, and not looking at everything that was standing in our way that we went through. You know what I'm saying? And this was doing Reconstruction.
Money talks, bullshit runs a marathon. So it just comes down to with the money. I mean, come on, it's America. Money move things. I ain't, you know. But there was money on both sides. So you can't just, you know, because WEB he got his money. He got his money to do what he did too. So Ewok, you hitting us back. You got something on your mind?
You got there right. What y'all talking about?
See, I got something on my mind. What y'all talking about?
Dion over here scrambled all up like eggs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all over here talking that nuts. Hey, I was trying, my battery died and shit. I was trying to agree with Dion earlier though. You know what I'm saying about 50. 50 was like 50 acting like a bitch, man. You know, for real talk, gangster talk. You know what I'm saying? 50 acting like a bitch because he shouldn't be doing all that shit. Okay, petty is petty. If you do some petty shit a little bit to fuck with somebody, fine. But 50 is the king of petty and shit. And after a while, that sounds like a bitch to me. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of agree with what Dion was saying about 50, man. That's it. Gated him up for the. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
Kamar was asking for examples. He was saying, okay, so what did he do that makes him what makes him a bitch? What has he done? What makes him a bitch ass nigga? What makes 50 Cent a bitch?
A bitch ass nigga do bitch ass type of things, and you know what I'm saying. So we can use the word petty, and we can use bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying. And 50 is walking that thin line, is a fine line and shit. And he basically both of them right now, because you know what I'm saying. Why the fuck he sitting around like he the king of the world and shit, and he gonna expose somebody? He trying to expose people and shit, but he wasn't doing it earlier in the motherfucker until he saw something happen with somebody else. That's a bitch move, you know what I'm saying? You got mad because you saw somebody with somebody else. That's a bitch move. That's how hoes move. You know what I'm saying? That shit whack to me. That shit
Some people would say what Meech did was the whole move by going and getting with his enemy. Like your girl, she want to get mad at you and she start fucking with your friend or your enemy, right? Like she end up having a baby by your enemy.
You can't tell no grown ass man where he can and can't go. You know what I'm saying? How much money you got and how much motherfucking power and flunkies you got, it still comes down to still being a real motherfucking gangster. And you gotta have a real attitude about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And some shit makes you look weak. You know what I'm saying? That chess move right there.
And nobody said what make him a bitch ass nigga yet. He called out Meech for being a rat after he went and fucked with a nigga who I put your family on while you was locked up, and you fucked with, and you got this chick to snitch. You a rat. Like what's bitch ass about that?
What do we suppose? Hey, but on a real K-Bull, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? 50 Cent don't get to regulate how motherfuckers do what they day-to-day activities is, you know what I'm saying?
After I put $5 million in your family pocket and put your son on while you was locked up, you go fuck with my enemy?
He made money too.
No, I ain't gonna fuck with you. You go fuck with my enemy and I put your family on while you locked up?
Are they really enemies, or is 50 in his panties about some shit, though? You know what I'm saying? That shit look weak in a motherfucker, dog.
Hey, I think. Listen, because I can't wait to get on YouTube tonight. I can't wait to get on YouTube tonight to go and see more, because there's always stuff on this. Let's watch the developments. Jason Fideli's in the chat room. He said there's a code and some shit you just don't do.
Yeah, man. I put your
he's talking
family,
about
yo, man. I put food in y'all pocket. I put food in
all
your
of this
son.
The nigga with the most money. All this, the nigga with the most money.
Your son can have he got to live in now. He's an actor.
That don't work. That's not real life. That's not real G code right there. You know what I'm saying?
Your son is a movie star. I made your son a movie star while you was
the last 100 of my favorite rappers.
Talking over each other
because he got money and he fucking with Beyonce. Motherfucker gonna say he the greatest rapper of all time. Come on, that's garbage, and everybody know it. You know what I'm saying?
I did what you was supposed to do while you was locked up.
Just having money. You don't get G code motherfucking credit just because you got money. You know what I'm saying? Big Meech can go and do the fuck what he feel like doing.
Hold on, Ewok. Go ahead, Kamar. I just want to make sure everybody get heard.
So Ewok, if I got locked up and you put my son on and my family and shit while I'm locked up, I'm gonna go fuck with your enemy? A nigga I know you don't fuck with? Nah. I ain't gonna do that.
Enemies? Are they arch nemesis against each other though?
Apparently, yes.
No, hold on now. There's a sex tape with somebody's baby mama involved. There's a lawsuit and bankruptcy. Yeah, I believe they pretty much adversary. I think that this is a 10-year
Go
thing.
over there and whoop his ass then. I can get it over with. My uncle told me when I was
I'm just gonna cut your water off. I'm just gonna cut your water off.
Go in the alley and kill that motherfucker and get it over with.
Nah. How about I just cut your water off? I got the rights to your whole life and shit. I'm just gonna cut your water off.
All right, I hit you in your pockets. I could listen.
Okay,
I ain't gotta do all that.
You can do that without telling the whole world you did it too at the same time, though, Kev. You know, so it still has to be some mental aspect to this shit that we need to understand. You know what I'm saying? as a grown
That's it.
man and you on the internet and shit, you know what I'm saying? 50 don't need to be being petty. You know what I'm saying? Just don't fuck with a nigga.
I see
You
it
ain't gotta
both
go out
ways.
there and tell the world.
I see it both ways because I feel like Big Meech was being petty because he knew what he was doing.
And don't we all do troll shit on the internet? I see niggas beefing in the people's chat room with the white folks all the time.
Shout out to the People's News Network. Listen, just me reading the comments.
I understand what
just me
saying,
reading
man.
the comments in my group is so hilarious.
That's what niggas do, man. That's what niggas do.
I see so many people in that group. Like, there's comment. Man, I just tonight because I was working today. I had work to do, so I wasn't on social media. And when I came home, I was looking through the comments, and I'm just laughing out loud. Like I'm dying laughing because of the arguments that people are having, and I'm so happy that they're doing it in the People's News Network. So shout out to y'all. If you're not in that group, get in that group. Now, I do got to ask another question since we're talking hip hop before we get back to the heavy shit and do the politics again.
Yes, sir.
And this is come on, I got to ask you this. I'm gonna start off with you. Me and you done probably went toe to toe over this dude so many times. What's up with your guy Kanye, man? What's up? I know you knew I was gonna ask you. What's Kanye? Come on, listen. Now hold on before you. People say he has got an album come out. Oh, he's a billionaire. Dude, this dude is like, yeah, I love Hitler. Like Kanye is. What's up with your boy, man? What's up with the white woman? Take your clothes off at the award show. What's up with Kanye, man?
Hey, I think he antagonizing Jewish people.
You said what?
I think he antagonizing Jewish people.
Okay.
Because we all know how he got a beef with Jewish people in the music industry.
You don't see no mental health issues here?
No,
I don't agree. I don't agree with saying I'm a German and all. I love Hitler and all that shit.
Money, I don't mean to try to cut nobody off. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say something. But I think Kanye got enough money where he don't get no fucking shit, and he gonna say some shit to just piss people off for fun and shit. He be sitting back laughing and shit. That nigga still crazy as a bitch.
Okay, so just to me, Kamar, like if you listen to him speak, right? When you look at how he behaves, weirdo shit is weirdo shit for me. I don't care how much money you got. I'm just saying because I know you've tried to kind of in the past and said, no, Cam, like, no, he's okay. And I'm like, God, this motherfucker's batshit crazy. Like,
well, no, it's just that I don't want to bash him because we know that he really do got issues, mental issues. That's why, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't finna bash nobody. You know what I mean? That's why I'm on here talking about like, well, why is 50 a bitch ass nigga? You know what I mean? Like, cause I don't know if you noticed that, but I just ain't gonna bash a motherfucker like that, especially if he knows something wrong.
Earl Henny said
I don't agree.
No crystal meth.
Hey, I don't agree with his methods at all, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree at all, but you know what I mean. He got a method to his madness.
I was watching Sly Lives last night, which is a documentary on Hulu about Sly Stone, and they were talking about on this show the burden of black genius. And they had a bunch of different people on there. They had D'Angelo, they had Andre 3000, they had a bunch of, Shaka Khan. They had a bunch of black icons, and they asked them about the burden of black genius. And they all discussed how when you get to a certain point when it comes to celebrity and you're an artist and you have all of a sudden the world is yours and people like you're on top, you're selling all these records. And then all of a sudden you find yourself, your relevance start to slip away, or the fear that you might not be able to continue on this path. It becomes a monster that envelops you and can overwhelm you. And so you had George Clinton and Sly Stone talking about getting caught with crack cocaine. You look at James Brown, who started doing angel dust at 55. You look at Prince, who dies in an elevator because he has an opioid addiction. You look at Michael Jackson with lipstick tattooed on his mouth, or his hair was tattooed on his head. And Michael Jackson said, "Give me my milk," which was fucking horse tranquilizer. And so you start to talk about sometimes this celebrity, this tremendous dick riding. It just kills you. It corrupts you. When people are always telling you how big of a genius you are and they love you, and they're like, you got people who will give you their child. Look at R. Kelly. People was giving him their daughters. They were signing, and people say, R. Kelly, yeah, okay, but the parents, he was going through the parents saying, she can come stay with me in my mansion in Atlanta. And the parents like, ooh, you gonna be platinum. She with R. Kelly. Shouldn't they have been locked up too with R. Kelly? They signed their child over. Right? But this whole ego stroke of you are the man. You are the greatest ever. The fall from that is so tremendous that I think it'll drive anybody crazy. Right? And so when I look at Kanye and I think about all things considered, I think about, his movements and don't get me wrong, I think the brother's very talented with music and whatnot. But I think his ego, and then I also believe that losing his mom had a very, very, very detrimental effect on him, because I think she was the only person who really was able to keep him grounded. And I talk all the time about the pain that comes with losing your mom, and it will.
He ain't the only person that lost their damn mama.
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. What I'm saying is, if you had a close relationship with your mom and she dies, there's a point where you get really close to the line. I'm just saying that. I'm not making an excuse for him, because like you said, stupid is as stupid does. But I do believe that there's people who can't come back from it. Some people take a loss and they never get over it.
Never get back from that one.
Nobody grieves the same. Not two, not one, not nobody grieves the same over they lost their loved ones and shit. You know what? But when it comes to celebrities, everybody want to wipe their ass because they mama died. Motherfucker, it's everyday people that walk around. Mama's been died and shit, and they still got.
Mama still here. He walk.
Why the fuck do he get?
Why got your mother? Don't you?
Because his mama died.
Well,
you still got your mother, don't you, Ewok?
Yeah, I still have mine. Fortunately, yes, I do. She's still alive. Okay. But I'm saying, there are people that's walking around here.
Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for letting me know how that feels and how to deal with it. Thank you for letting me know how to deal with it.
That's not the point I'm trying to make, though, K-Bull.
That is the point,
That's not the point I'm trying to make.
The point you're making, though.
My point is,
that's the point you're making, because you're saying just because he's a celebrity. You saying just because he's a celebrity, you know what I mean? He can't lose his mind over his mama. Like, it just happened to be that he's a celebrity.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's no different than anybody else that has lost their mother. And then the celebrity, everybody wants to come wipe their ass and shit. You know what I'm saying? And make excuses for their actions and shit and their behavior, only because they are a celebrity. When the person who did lose their mother that live a regular life and shit, don't nobody get no fuck about it and shit. Well, they gotta keep carrying on.
I will tell you
Stop
this.
wiping the celebrity's ass.
This ain't just because he's a celebrity. I've been saying this for a long time, because I see the signs. Now, like you said, you alluded to the fact that there are a lot of people who lose, say, their mom, right? And they're walking around and they've healed. But ask that individual what they went through. Like, ask them about the grieving process. Ask them about how you end up dealing with it. Because, and I can tell you this, when I lost my mom, it sent me into a spiral for a couple years. And it wasn't that I couldn't afford to do what Kanye. I couldn't afford to do what Kanye does, because I'm not a celebrity. But I can tell you, it had a direct effect on my everyday behavior. It had a direct effect on my everyday attitude. And it took me a time that I had to really heal from it. It's a wound. And I'm not making an excuse for him, because I know cats who I grew up with, who you say, man, he ain't never been the same since his mama died, or he ain't never been the same since his grandma. Like, people who lose.
Hey, look at this factor too. Like, if you got almost an unlimited amount of money, where you could do whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna play out different for you than somebody who ain't got shit and really can't do nothing. and ain't no outlet to speak. Ain't nobody listening to him. You know what I mean? It's gonna play out way different.
Yeah, because your shit plays out in front of a
At
camera.
the end of the day, blood is red, shit is brown, and we all got a day to go in that ground. And you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, you know, I'm trying to make it sweet, you know what I'm saying, and short and sweet. In a nutshell, people care about celebrities, mamas, more than they care about the friend that they got, mamas and shit. You know, oh, they be making excuses for him and all of that shit. He's acting out because he lost his mama. What about the regular other nigga over there that lost his?
Yeah, we wasn't talking about him though.
About.
We was talking about him. We was talking about Kanye. If we was talking about anybody else who I seen, because I seen it. I've seen individuals lose somebody and never be the same. But we were talking specifically about Kanye. And I don't care if he's a celebrity or not. I don't care who you are. I can tell anybody that if you have a close relationship with your mother, when she passes away, it is the most painful shit that you're going to go through. And if you going to have to be strong, I hope you got a strong support system. And I hope that you get some closure. Sir. So I don't need to make no excuse for him, because I've been talking about his foolish behavior. But I also think if you look at him prior to her passing and post after her death, his behavior just become way more erratic. It would suggest that there was some sort of nervous breakdown or something emotional, like highly emotional, that he went through. And, you know, I watched a documentary about him one time, and it was just him and his mom in his apartment. This is before he really blew. You can just look at their relationship and tell, because she had supported him. She was his biggest fan. She was, you know, it hurts, man. But I mean, it ain't no excuse for
everybody mama is their biggest fan.
Not everybody. Some people don't even have a good relationship with their mom.
Well, that's a different story. But, you know, I'm talking in general. I'm generalizing. But everybody mama love a boy. Come on, man. Everybody mama love a boy.
Well, but you don't show love. Everybody shows. Your mother might love you, but she might not support you. You ain't gonna be no rapper. You gonna take your ass down to UWM and get in college and go. You're gonna be a teacher. Like everybody's mom or everybody's support system ain't the same, is what I'm saying. So people express their love.
Listen, if you ain't lost your mother, you can't imagine how the fuck that will feel from nobody.
Man, I've lost enough people, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that, Cable. You know what I'm saying? Death
your mama is different. I lost a lot of people too, but my mother hit way different.
Man, we all gonna die.
I lost my mother and my father, my grandmothers, aunties, uncles, but my mama hit way different.
Way different.
I understand that aspect too. I'm not trying to sit here and tell a motherfucker because they lost their mama and shit that they don't got the right to grieve.
I can barely tell you a story about my mama without crying. I can barely tell you a story about my mama without crying.
Hold on. We got to stop talking over each other. I can't hear shit. Stop talking over each other.
We agreeing with each other, Kev. You know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, you know, that's just, you know, that's grief. You're grieving and shit. But so I'm agreeing with him. I understand how you feel about it. So it's not no argument, you know. I understand. Shit, he grieves. Shit, I get it.
Go ahead, come on. Go ahead. Because I want to move on.
Just saying, you know what I mean? Like, even me to have lost my mother, like, I don't know where Kev is with him and his mother, how he will feel. You know what I mean? But I will say, like I said earlier, if you got a whole bunch of money and then to lose that support system, like, dog, if I'd have had money like that when my mama died, I'd have crashed the fuck out. Because there was a whole bunch of motherfuckers I was pissed at. You know what I mean? Back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, I'd have wigged the fuck out and I probably would be in prison. Like, you know what I mean? That may have been my downfall and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say how anybody can react. I don't think nobody really giving them an excuse for it. I don't think nobody's giving Kanye an excuse.
For different people.
In fact, I never even heard him. In fact, I never even heard him use it as an excuse or nothing like that.
That was my theory. I said that.
I know, but that's that's what I'm finna allude to, Kev. You know what I mean? Like, nobody ever gave him that excuse. He never even used it. It's just the fact that people can see the change in behavior since his mother passed.
And I'm the only one. I don't even hear people saying that. It's something I've always said. Like simply because,
Well,
like I said,
you look
All
at
we
that
see
show.
is all we
It's just
see
so when
is
you look at that
celebrity.
show,
All we
when
see
you
is
watch
the
that
celebrity.
Kanye show,
He ain't our
when you watch
cousin,
that
man.
Kanye
He's not
series,
nobody that you can go to his house. He's just somebody his name is Kanye West. He's not your cousin. You know what I'm saying? People treat him like they cousin
hey, they
and they can go
talk.
over
Hey,
to the
Kev,
house
they
and
talked
talk to
about
him and
that on this
shit.
series.
You know, he's not that guy.
well, who said he was? Nobody.
He's not that guy.
But we're nobody else has even said. We were talking about his behavior, so that came up from me. And you said they said it on what show, Kamar?
If you watch that series what Kanye had on Netflix, his family and friends and stuff was talking about it too. They was talking about how he changed, on how much support she was for him. She would hold him back, stop him from doing a whole bunch of crazy shit. They, you know what I mean? People that knew him knew that.
We gotta stop watching too much TV.
And when passed, you know what I mean? Like, here you go. That person that's there. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of us got somebody. A lot of us
talk over each other. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Cam. My bad.
Go ahead, come on.
A lot of us got somebody in our lives, you know what I mean, who can keep us grounded. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, you know what I mean, it's a problem. Like his mother was that person for him, you know, and like after she passed, like you gotta imagine if he got all that money, it's a bunch of snakes, a bunch of yes men, a bunch of motherfuckers just gonna let him do what the fuck he wanna do. You know what I'm saying? And let him go crazy. Right. Like we watch.
Kev, my point is, Kev, and K-Bull, my point is, how the fuck do you know K-Bull? You know what I'm saying? You lost your mama, Kev lost his mama. I understand grief. We don't. Grief.
That's what we say.
You know, you acted like you was sitting right there next to that nigga, and you know exactly what the fuck he did and how he thinking shit. You know, come on, the celebrity and when they put shit on TV, stop watching so much TV. Them niggas on TV trying to make a TV show and shit. You know, so they can get money. You know, get viewership. You know, come on, man.
The only reason I speak to it is because of my money. The only reason I spoke to it is because of my own experience.
Don't nobody know what the fuck Kanye West do. Shit.
Well, once again, the only reason I spoke to it is because I'm close, because I've been through it. And it ain't about him being my cousin or being a celebrity. It's just a man looking at another man saying, man, he's going through some shit. And you start to hypothesize about what he's going through. So then that's it. It ain't no about because he's a celebrity. I'm not even that big a fan. I've never even bought an album, and I know we're not related. I don't know him from Adam's House Cat, but when I see a certain set of behaviors, I recognize it. I've had homeboys who've gone through this, and I could just tell. And you sometimes that's what I'm saying. Sometimes somebody got to sit down. Now, Earl Henning is in the chat room. He said in 2011, my beautiful mother was called to the upper room. He said some shit is green. He said baby shit is green. Jason Vidilli, what up, cuz? He said you can't generalize that, gentlemen. We are all different. I agree. He said, hey, I lost my girlfriend and my house when I lost my mom because she told me to man up from the situation. Once again, and we start talking about, and this is where black men get to really talking about how they feel and what affects them, because we all kind of portray ourselves as these like real tough, and you got to be tough, man. To be a black man, you got to be tough, and you take them arrows and you take them bullets, and you take, like I said, my dad died 7 years before my mom. All my grandparents gone, right? Like I got, I don't know, 17 dead homeboys, but I can say that I agree with Kamar that it hit different when it was my mama. Now, I'll tell you this, too. Ever since then, I've been a little bit tougher in dealing with death. Like, it kind of made me, like, a little insensitive. Like, when somebody loses, I'm kind of like, yeah, well, that's how it is.
You're numb now.
Because it's never been the same. I
lost the one that meant the most.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I do want to say this, because we looked at the accusations. We on hip hop tonight. Fuck it. Let's talk about hip hop. Jay-Z, the charges, the girl who said that he raped her with Puffy when she was 13, and she had this lawsuit, and she withdrew the lawsuit. So he's been vindicated.
She dropped it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So and you know, we talked about the fact that when this first came out and everybody was running crazy, Beyonce ain't gonna leave him and all this, and we was like, yo, this dude is lawyering up. He's saying, nah, let's go to court then. I'm gonna put you on the stand. I'm gonna put you gonna have to tell this. You're gonna have to come with the real. And it was flimsy. Now, this makes it look bad for anybody who is really truly victimized. Because we know that these lawsuits now become a money grab. We know that this becomes a weapon. We know that people now will say, oh, because it's still people suing Puffy. It's still like, I was a male exotic dancer. He assaulted me in the bathroom one time in 96. Like, it's a money grab for a lot of people. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think they fucking over Puff, I think.
I don't know that they're fucking him over, because what I saw him do to Cassie, to me, was enough for him to be under some sort of, you know, punishment or whatever, because I know that wasn't the first time he ever done it. But I don't know that. And this was another discussion we had on the show in which I said, I believe a lot of these people who were sex workers, you didn't get assaulted. You was at work. You was on the clock, right? You showed up. They gave you a bottle of baby oil and said, here's your station. Go to work, right? Like, and I know there were some people who may have been victimized, but you can't tell me at a certain point everybody didn't know exactly what this was. This was you saying, I got to go out of town on a business trip tonight. Puffy's calling. How do you get your number? He wasn't calling innocent people like, you want to sell some booty? It was known booty sellers. Right. It was sex workers. Now, do they deserve to be violated? No. But I'm just saying, you can't go and do that and then turn around now and say, oh, they suing? I got a case too. You weren't a victim. You were a participant, right? You were complicit in your own rape, I guess. I hate to say that because it makes me sound like, right. But it's the truth.
Right. Another crazy twist to that is the lawful side too, right? Because see, now on the lawful side, they're liable, but Puffy is, like, if he flew him in or something like that. You know what I mean? If he flew him in, now he's trafficking sex workers.
Right.
But the sex workers is foul if they say, look, I was violated when I got there. Because, motherfucker, you knew what you was coming for. You a sex worker. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how that shit work, man. But then they trying to get some money out of it.
Why not?
Same time.
I mean, ass ain't selling like it used to, especially if you're an old sex worker now. Why not? I mean, I get it. I'm just calling for what it is.
Now, when you could get specific. Now, you could get specific about the different types of sex workers too. You know what I mean? Because like you got child sex trafficking that they mentioned that may have been going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, those children that got sold into it, now they possibly, you know what I mean? I could see them saying, well, look, I was sold into that shit and I was taken advantage of. I could see them saying that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe, I know this girl says this woman, I guess now says she was 13. But when it comes to the freak off parties, and once again, I'm not totally up on every single fact of it, but I haven't heard anybody say that there were underage, like there was children at these parties. I've heard people make assumptions. I've heard people make assumptions.
It's one of the recent ones. One of the girls, she on that TMZ one that's on Tubi. But I saw her interview on YouTube where she was talking about that, mentioning who was all there. You know what I mean? At the thing, she mentioned Donald Trump was one of them, even one of the people at the sex party. You know what I mean? She mentioned the underage person. She said she's seen multiple underage people. So, you know what I mean? She ain't even the first person who I done heard that from. Now, if they telling the truth or not, I don't know. But I done heard it multiple times.
I know that there was a little white girl who he said he was adopted. I don't, when I look at the lawsuits,
nobody heard from her since.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard that. He was little kids. I don't know. This is Jason Fideli said, but as black men, we have to learn more about emotional intelligence. Hey man, I don't think you're wrong, Jason. I think sometimes though the situations that we're in prevent us from really becoming emotionally I would say, aware, right? Like, because you really got to get tough early, man. Like, if you growing up in some of these communities, you got to toughen up early. Like, it ain't no real time for sensitivity. When you in that shit with them wolves, man, you got to get right. And so sometimes we don't learn about that stuff until later on. And, you know, I say it's part of the maturation process. But to come out of where we come from, Dion would probably say that's that slavery shit. But I think growing up as a foundational Black American male in the inner city is very tough in this country. And you encounter some shit that you probably shouldn't early on. And it desensitizes you. Just like Kamara and myself just got done talking about that that being desensitized after when somebody now says, hey man, I lost so and so, you're like, oh, that's messed up. But you're kind of insulated from it hurting like it did. You don't feel it, right? I'm talking about family members, other family members. I say, oh man, that was my auntie or my cousin. You know, I'm just like, but I went through it. So when you see people getting fucked up, man, when you see, are we watching some of the crimes that you see committed in Milwaukee right now? You see the Valentine's Day where the dude shoot the man in the head and broad open daylight. Like, this stuff is playing over and over for our youngsters, man. And so, yeah, they get taught, you know, that, hey, I ain't supposed to have no emotions. This is Earl Henning. He said the person who you can call when you can't call nobody else, that's mother love. Well, yeah, nobody's ever gonna love you unconditionally except your mama. I'm trying to tell you, you can do some fucked up shit. Your mother be like, it's gonna be all right, baby. I'm gonna pray for you. Like, yeah, you won't ever get that. You're not gonna get that. I don't care if you get married. I don't care if you got a girl. You're never getting that. And so sometimes you realize, and I think that's the pain of it, is you realize you ain't gonna never have that again. And it really just kind of make you hollow, man. You feel just real hollow on the inside. That's how I felt. He said they didn't learn from Mike Tyson. Yeah, you have to fight from being emotionally disturbed. You got to be able to keep your head on a swivel, man, in this community. And I just take stock, man. I look around and see what these youngsters growing up seeing. Can you imagine what some of these dudes is dealing with at home? If it ain't, a lot of times, if you don't have a strong father figure, or if you don't have a strong male role model and you're raised by all women, it kind of gives you kind of some feminine perspectives. If you don't have those men, if you don't have those uncles, if you don't have a big brother, if you don't have that man to say, no, boy, that ain't how you carry it. You know, even for a man to sit you down and say, man, it's going to hurt sometimes. I can remember when my grandmother died, my mother's mother, and I was crying. I was like 10 years old. I was crying. And my father said, listen, we all got to go. And one day, guess what? It's going to be me up there. And I was like, no, I'm a little kid. But he was telling me then how to handle things. I understand you loved your grandmama, but you got to calm down. Because I was like almost hysterical. That was like one of the first, you know, my first real, when my grandmother died when I was 10, I was like, oh my God, you mean I'm never going to see grandmama again? I was bugging out. And Pops just kind of handled me like, yo, check this out, man. Let me talk to you. You all right? You know, and I've had to do that with my son. Just sometimes on how to handle stuff. Say, man, check this out. Let's talk. Let me tell you something, man. Now, if you don't have that, your example for dealing with emotional situations is a woman. And she's going to be very emotional. And so you kind of copy that pattern. And so
you don't learn the emotional way to handle it.
Yeah, you won't have any kind of logic. It's a thing about masculinity in which you really can deal with pressure by distributing it. You don't take it all in the same play, you kind of distribute it. Like, I'm just going to spread this everywhere. I ain't going to take it all in one shot. We'd have to do a whole kind of thing about it, man. We talk about emotional intelligence. Shit, that's so deep, man. That's so deep. Because, and you can tell with the young men, look at the way that they react when the girl break up with him. He just can't let it go. How many domestic violence is where? Men killing women because she says she's leaving? It's just still high because you got a lot of young brothers who just emotionally, they're just not there. They can't handle it, man. And it prevents them from being, they don't want to try anything different because they are insecure and they have this built-in fear and they're crippled by the fear. Once again, I had to be told by my dad, look, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it, but you are not going to not do it because you're scared. You're going to do it and choose that you don't want to do it. I told my son the same thing. Hey, man, if you don't want to play, you don't have to play. But you ain't going to not play because you're scared. You get over that fear right now. We're going to teach you right now how to deal with being scared. You got to face that shit head up. And so I just think that's why masculinity is so deathly needed in the community, man. I really believe that. What else we got? I wanted to talk to tonight, and I don't know. I think we got how much time we got left. Oh, we got some time. I want to talk about political parties. I want to talk about politics. Because what I'm seeing right now is an attempt to divide our community when it comes to Democrats and Republicans. Because black people assume that if you're a Republican, you're a house nigga. But black Republicans assume that if you're a Democrat, you an ignorant house nigga and you're a slave and that you've drank the Kool-Aid. And I keep trying to explain to people that both of those parties are the same damn thing. You can go back historically and tell me about how the Republicans voted against slavery and all that. Yeah, we know that at one point that Republicans, it's not the Republican Party of today. We know that. We understand that. I like you telling us that like we, it has some kind of relevance. You can't tell me that Biden was the greatest president in the world, right? Well, we understood that America has some issues that need to be worked out. But you also can't tell me that what Trump is doing right now is the craziest shit you've ever. His wanton recklessness is concerning. And when you see him going after one group of people, it's almost hard for you to assume that he's not going to come after you next. We've laughed a lot on here because I said, obviously, where is he going to, send us or whatever. But what does he have in store for us? We don't know yet. Hell, as a matter of fact, nobody really knows. The people who voted for him, look at Latinos getting deported with a Trump Latino for Trump t-shirt on.
Get their ass out of America. I'm glad too.
Well, look at women. Look at women who voted for him. You're gonna lose abortion, all this kind of stuff. You're gonna lose women's rights. And once again, we keep saying when you talk about DEI and you talk about equity and you talk about inclusion, women are some of the biggest recipients of those programs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially white women.
Yeah. You voted against your own interests, and so he has no friends. Who is his friends? Who is he loyal to? You talking about a man who's against immigrants, and he's never. When was the last time he had an American wife? It's like this dude he kicking people out, and he's complaining about how much we give in aid to people. But then he says, well, South Africans, y'all can come over here. This dude is a walking conflict of interest. Go ahead, Dion.
And you know what, though, Kev? I asked, because there's a white lady in my job. She a Trump supporter. And I said, well, how do you feel about Elon Musk being up in the White House? I said, how do you feel about him offering? Y'all want the immigrants to leave, but he's offering South Africans, and I had to be specific to her. I said, Afrikaners, he's offering them free land to come over here. How do you feel about that? But she just gave me that dorky white people ass smile. And like I'm for real though. Like I do not like Trump supporters. Like no, for real though. Like I don't give a fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? This man set up here, and I be like I said, we on two different, pie versus whatever. But I be listening to MSNBC, CNN, Roland Martin, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't listen to Fox too much, but I just be wondering how. If you're seeing this hurting you and causing harm to you, look at the farmers. Because a lot of that U.S. aid that we send overseas, farmers grow a lot of that shit to send over there. So now the funding is frozen. How can you still sit up here and justify the actions of this man? Then not only, okay, fuck it. You ride with Trump. You got his dick deep in your throat. But what about Elon Musk? What about Elon? Did y'all sign up for that? Did you go out there and pound the pavement and move the needle for that? Did you know Elon Musk was going to be his advisor? Like it's so much disrespect. But then, I'm going to tell you what will bring me up out of this shit, though. I had to listen to it this week. I was listening to an old comedy show from Paul Mooney, and it was about like 9/11 and all that shit. And then, you know, there's white people, that's white people shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna survive. And I believe in the 5 P's that you know on. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So what we need to do as black people, we need to start stocking up on our water, our toilet paper, soap, whatever you feel like you need. Start buying canned goods, non-perishable items, because something gonna happen. Like, I'm listening to Malcolm Nash right now. Malcolm Nance. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but maybe look him up, listen to him. He's a wise guy. I think he's a Republican, but he's one of them old Republicans, so he's not a Trumper. And something is bound to happen because there's too much going on. He put tariffs on aluminum. My company is a metal stamping company. I want to know when the motherfucking I don't know if we use aluminum, but shit, we deal with somebody that use it. You know what I'm saying? And we might even have some aluminum ourselves. When those prices start going up, are workers still gonna? Are we gonna? Because around Christmas, that's why I'm trying to leave these motherfuckers. They laid us off from December 20th to January 6th without pay. We didn't get Christmas pay nor New Year's Eve pay. Are they going to start laying off workers again? You know what I'm saying? Like, this man is going to sit in the world, the United States, but you have people, like I was listening to this one guy this week. I can't remember the black guy name, but I think his name, I don't know. I can't remember the black guy name. But we had talked about him on this show before. Not Don Lennon, but it's another black guy. You know what I'm saying? He was talking to this white dude. And he was like, well, people just accepted it because they wanted something different. So basically what the country is turning into pretty soon is going to be an oligarchy where the higher people that's wealthy are going to be in charge, and we just sitting up here accepting it. And people are so fucking dumb and naive and politically ignorant. That's why I can't respect that one guy, because I don't give a fuck how you felt if you're a Republican or whatever. This man should not have been in the White House for a second term. There's no way it should have happened. But like he said, you got to listen to him. There's a guy on YouTube, a guy on TikTok was pointing out a speech. I don't know if he was just pointing it out. He said Elon Musk went to Pennsylvania. This guy is smart with the computers, and he made them work. And I still feel like Kamala was cheated out there because the margin is too narrow. 1.5%, that's like the margin between that where she could have won. That margin is too narrow. You know what I'm saying? So it was some trickery and some bullshit up in there, but there's nothing that we could do about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I just be over this shit. Like I said, and I'm going to personally be honest with you, we going to hurt behind it. So that's why we need to prepare for it. We going to hurt behind it. We are. But I want to see a lot of them white. I want to see a lot of them white motherfuckers hurt, and them black motherfuckers hurt and voted for them too. So we all can hurt. Because I do believe in collateral damage, and they're gonna be collateral damage. You know what I'm saying? Because they say this low down, stinking pink, whatever the fuck you want to call him, motherfucker, is for them. It's for the betterment of the United States, and that man is not for the betterment of the United States. I'm about to mute the phone and finish moving these trailers. I'm gonna listen to you, Kev. I'm still online. I just muted you.
Well, there's mass protests. There's protests planned. There are judges who are blocking certain things. This process is still playing out. Like, with the audacity of what he's doing, and he's winning some small victories along the way. But I would ultimately still put my faith in the people, right? Because I don't think America is going to take this lying down. I think sooner or later the honeymoon is over, and the shine kind of wears off, and those who who didn't understand that their jobs and their livelihoods are going to be affected, I think they're going to wise up. They won't have any other choice, Mark. Like, economically, when you put us in the bind where people are really just, they're going to start losing the ability to take care of things. People going to rise up. There's this. That's why I said this is going to be a period of political upheaval. And these protests are going to get more intense and more intense because his people are going to show up. The white supremacists are going to show up. The Trumpers are going to show up, and they're going to clash. This is going to become monumental. Ultimately, I think we'll win over. I think we'll win the day, because I just don't think that and I'd be surprised, and I might be wrong. I'd be surprised if we really took this for all 4 years and I feel like shit's about to really hit the fan in terms of people trying to indict. I'm sorry, not indict, but impeach, and people who are like just bucking the system. I think there's massive economic boycotts coming. I think there will be a situation where people are prepared and stockpiling food and getting ready for things to get tough. And I think ultimately we'll realize what a mistake was made and how, because normally when you figure out what happened, then you got to figure out how it happened. And it's going to force people to really look at and say, where were we at mentally to allow this to happen in our country? And I'm hoping, because
what can they do though if it is a upheaval? What can you do? You can't do nothing. He's still gonna do whatever he's gonna do.
No, because there's that he's gonna do what he's gonna do. We talking about how many millions, hundreds of millions of people in the country. It ain't just that sweet. Like you can come in here with your pen and your paper and your money. And when motherfuckers go to clowning, shit moves. Like you said, what can you do? First of all, he's 78 years old. He's at 80 years old. You don't have much time left. And so yeah, they can put things in place, but there's still checks and balances. See, the one thing he hasn't done yet is he hasn't totally crippled the system to where judges can't stop things. They can't block things. There's still some legalities involved that he hasn't dismantled yet. I believe that those things will ultimately come to pass. I think that when we see, like, we're going into midterm elections, I think there'll be a blue wave. I really think that people are going to go and vote and try to get some representation. Now, what does that mean if he's, getting these executive orders and whatnot? Well, then you got to put the right people, the right judges in office, because he has some judges that are on his side. So you got to fight fire with fire. I'm never going to say, well, what can we do? It ain't going to be nothing we can do. No, it's over. I don't believe Trump is that powerful that he's going to end this country. I don't think it'll be him. I really don't. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, everybody's entitled to how they feel. I just believe like he'll be stopped, right? I think that's what ultimately happens. The good guys get over for a minute, the bad guys get over for a minute, and then ultimately it falls. White people are just very excited right now, like racist white people, and a lot of them don't even realize that the point we've alluded to on this show many times is they themselves are recipients of so many different social service programs and so many different kind of what they call handouts. I don't know. They talk about getting rid of their Social Security too. You talk about getting rid of any kind of Medicaid. Like there's a lot of them sick and old too. And so, we'll see. We'll see what this is, but it's damn sure crazy to watch. Ewok, you back on the line. What you got? Because it's 9:50. What you got?
Yeah, my point is step by step. They doing things in pieces and bits and shit, so you can't hardly see it. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the game plan, and people don't recognize it because they taking a little bit at a time. That's what I want to say. They taking a little bit at a time, dog. They on some straight up strategy shit. They playing motherfucking chess. And everybody's still sitting here playing checkers, waiting to see, okay, he can't do this, he can't do that, he ain't going to be able to do this, he ain't going to be able to do that. But guess what? This motherfucker successfully is really doing some of this shit. Real tough.
So you saying ain't nothing, it's over. So you agreeing with Dion, it's over.
No, I don't think it's, hell no, it ain't over. It's going to have, I believe like the people going to vote like you believe.
Well, I would hope. I just hope people.
Man, the people can't do nothing. The man got the executive and the judicial. All that shit that them local federal courts doing, the Supreme Court might not hear it, but they gonna hear some of it and they gonna override that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll put people in place. I can't think of the guy's name, but his name is Boyd something. He was one of the authors of Project 2025. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's happening in place is not happening by coincidence. It's happening by design. You understand what I'm saying? The Elon Musk, they trying to dismantle, talking about excessive spending in the federal government, where they said they spent how much money giving condoms to prisoners in Guantanamo Bay? Another $50-some thousand they said over there, Sri Lanka over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all this bullshit. They auditing them. You know what I'm saying? They put Boyd up in there. They got all these stupid ass people. So even if he can't do everything that he's trying to do, he put other people in place just to tear down. Now, guess what they about to do now? Dismantle the Department of Education. But when I was saying it about Project 2025 on here, people like, oh, yeah.
Well, no,
What's the guy named? Wait, hold on.
Nobody
what's the guy
said it
named?
couldn't
Cornel
happen.
West. Cornel West, he got better. You know what I'm saying?
Deion right. Some of y'all talking points on Outlaw Radio, y'all was like, that ain't nothing. And everything that's going on right now comes straight directly out of Project 2025.
Who said Project 25? I said Project 2025 wasn't nothing.
Was saying it was a scare tactic.
No,
I think both of y'all said it was a scare tactic.
I never ever once doubted Project 2025.
I did.
Said he's telling you what he's going to do. It didn't surprise me. He was telling you what he was going to do.
Okay.
I never said that on this show that, oh, that ain't nothing. What I did say is that there's legalities and that judges would come up and put injunctions against some of the stuff he was trying to do. Ain't that what's happening? We said he was
pretty much and shit, you know.
We said he was.
I did. Hey, I said.
Sometimes you gotta.
I did say.
And stand on that side. You can't stand on top of the fence and shit and hope shit go this way so you can prove a fucking point. Because you know what I'm saying. I do feel like motherfuckers really did it. You know, sat there and acted like Project 2025 wasn't nothing. It's just a fear tactic. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was saying it like that. No, that shit real, and they doing it right now.
Go ahead, Kamar.
Hey, I did say it was a scare tactic. What I actually said was, I said, hey, look, what if this is all a scare tactic and they want us worrying about this shit before it's even time to worry? I'm not finna worry until then, because ain't nobody giving me no solutions right now, so I'm not finna worry about nothing. You know what I mean? Like even right now, hold on once, kid, check this out. Even right now, he doing all this different shit, and everybody got their shit up in a bunch, but ain't nobody saying, what should we do? And like I said, what I'm going to do every day is I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing. Hold on. Let me run through the conversation. Because I did say it may be a scare tactic. Let me run through my whole conversation and my logic. You know what I'm saying? So from this point on, it's like, okay, now what do I do? Again, I'm back to the solution. I see what he's doing. He is doing different stuff. But the same thing is, my solution is I got to continue. I got to wake up tomorrow and work to be better than that today. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I can do. I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, man, I sat here quiet as a motherfucker for 2 hours. I sat here quiet as shit for an hour. I sat here quiet as shit for an hour.
Go ahead.
Because I wanted everybody to get everything out. You know what I'm saying? So now, like I said, you know what I mean? Now the point is this.
Telling you and shit. What you gonna do, K-Boo?
I think he's trying to answer the question. Go ahead, Kamar.
I can talk. Ewok.
Yeah, man. I'm silent. I'm.
Well, no, you keep cutting me off. I'm talking and I'm trying to answer the question.
It's a little delay.
It is a delay, so respect the delay.
Okay.
But just go ahead, Kamar. Go ahead. Finish
I'm
what you were saying.
Right now. You can speak. Yeah.
But yeah, so my thing now is, again, you know what I mean? Is everybody gonna keep complaining? Everybody gonna keep worrying, or is anybody gonna talk about a solution? What can we do? Everybody's still talking about what all black people don't care. They don't care. Why the fuck is everybody worried about what somebody else thinking about? Like, we got to figure out what to do. What's the next step? If some niggas ain't moving, they ain't moving. I feel like
Ernest, hold on.
Yes, sir. I'm trying my best.
I feel like everybody is supposed to find a lane in this whole revolutionary thing, because see, we all revolutionary. We all got revolutionary spirits, but we all have to find our lane and fight those lanes. You can't get mad if everybody don't want to fight in that lane right there.
When if somebody's telling you what they're exactly gonna do.
Ewok, you gotta let the man finish. You gotta let the man finish. You gotta let him finish.
I thought he did.
No,
Man,
no.
you know what, man? Y'all go ahead, man.
I'm just
Come on, I'm trying to be part of the conversation and shit.
I'm trying to
I think,
include
but
you.
I'm trying to get in where I fit in too.
I'm trying to include you, but we get nowhere when people are talking over each other. That is always the
I'm
point.
only trying to say you can't sit on the fence when somebody is directly telling you to your face what they about to do and what their intentions is and shit, and you sit there and waiting to see if he gonna do it when he already told you.
I didn't sit there and wait. I didn't sit there and wait. I didn't vote for Trump. I ain't vote for Trump. I ain't sit there and wait. And every day I wake up the next morning trying to figure out how can I make myself better. And I'm also worried about how can I help some people.
I wake up with the same attitude.
So what I'm saying is, you know what I mean? I did do something about it. I didn't vote for Trump.
Listen.
Or Cornel West, or Robert F.
Or Cornel West,
right, I get that.
or Kanye, or none of them. I ain't vote for none of them. I did what I was supposed to do. I stood by the code, nigga.
I think it's once again what we go down when I see debates that they have in the People's News Network, when I see fingers pointing from both sides, and I think the conversation that even the indication that okay, well, this is fear mongering because we talked about who was actually using who was fear mongering between Republicans and Democrats. We talked about what we felt like Democrats thought Republicans were doing and what Republicans thought Democrats were doing. So there were a lot of people who were saying, hey, you know, we're going to be slaves. We're going to be slaves. And there's people who saying, no, he's going to get rid of corruption. So our discussion was simply about it comes from both sides. And that's why I say I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, because I see where both parties was foul. But if we're going to talk about a situation, we got to talk about it from the whole perspective. I'm not going to, if Democrats are fear mongering, I'm going to call them out for it. And we know there were some people who didn't even read Project 25 that were just using it. They were just saying it, but they didn't have any details about it. Now, fortunately enough, on our show, Dion, who said he'd be sitting on a shitter reading it, talked about it all the time. He talked about eliminating the Department of Education. He talked about getting rid of DEI. He talked about all of that. That was discussed ad nauseum on the show, which is why we all agree.
It's coming to fruition.
But that's why we all agreed that we were anybody but Trump. That's why nobody on this show said that they would vote for Trump. That was one of the reasons why we said we just didn't want him in there. Nobody on this show voted for him. Nobody on this show supported him. What we did do is talk about we had a discussion that was full, and it was like, okay, well, this is this and this is that. And I think you have to understand too what's going on to know what's going on. You got to understand it, right? So you got to know what each side is doing. Like there's flaws to go around, and I just think we just threw them out there. But I wasn't dismissing the validity of Project 2025. I got on there one night. We went through the whole thing. You got to go back and listen to the show. We went through the whole part of it.
Outlaw Radio is filled with intellect. You know what I'm saying? We all have intellect. You know what I'm saying? And we all don't see eye to eye sometimes. But at the whole time, though, we all on the same thing. That's why it's Outlaw Radio. You know what I'm saying? We all got our pieces of intelligence and shit. You know what I'm saying? That we can offer to Outlaw Radio, and that's why I was sitting here trying to say what I be saying. You know what I'm saying? To add to the Outlaw Radio, because you know. Some better than none, you know.
And everybody's welcome, but when you said that some things on the show, you said that was a direct accusation. You said myself and Kamar were kind of like dismissing the Project 2025 and saying it was
Project 2025. Yeah, y'all did say that. And that wasn't no shot to try to make y'all feel bad about yourself for what y'all said.
No, when did we say it was nothing? When did we dismiss it and say that that's nothing? I don't recall ever saying that.
Yeah, we wasn't finna worry.
I mean, come on, man. I'm not even gonna paraphrase or try to
finna worry about.
You know what I'm saying? All I'm gonna say is, you know what I'm saying, y'all acted like at that one show, y'all kind of acted a little bit that way. It's like it wasn't nothing, but this motherfucker doing that shit.
Yeah, I didn't never say it was nothing. I'm not gonna worry about it. Hey, I definitely said I'm not gonna worry about it, but I didn't say it's nothing. I said I ain't gonna worry about it. I would never worry about something until something happens. You know what I'm saying? I'll wait till it happens. Something smack me in the face. Well, then now it's time to worry about it. Because wasn't nobody telling me what to do to stop it. What was y'all saying to do to stop it?
Don't vote for Trump.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you know what?
Don't vote for him.
No, I did what the fuck I was
You
supposed
always
to do. I
want the
didn't vote for
conclusion,
Trump.
K-Bull, and I understand that, and I love you for that. You always want the outcome, and I respect you for that too, though. Now, you know what I'm saying? You always say, what we gonna do to fix it. And that's good shit. I dig that.
We gonna keep
But at
complaining,
the same
but then
time,
what we
there's a
gonna do?
beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end,
This
and
is
you gotta be prepared for all of that shit in between,
Exactly.
Let me go to my
That's
chat
my
room before I
point.
get
So
out of
if
here.
you-
'Cause
so-
it's after 10. Go.
Hey,
I'm gonna give you.
but that's
No
my
doubt.
point
Go
right
ahead.
there. If
Y'all go
we
ahead
gonna
and finish
talk
yourself.
about it,
Y'all
then
finish
let's talk
yourself, man.
about the solution too. Like every time we come on the show, everybody steady complaining about 2020, the project 2025, but ain't nobody talking about what can we do to stop this shit. Ain't nobody talking about what can we do to prepare. But you know what I mean? But me and Kev was definitely saying, get your money up, get your shit together, just continue to doing the shit that you've been doing. We were saying that as far as a solution, but wasn't nobody saying shit.
Well, I thought the solution was.
I definitely did say I ain't worried about it.
I thought the solution was don't vote for him. To me, that was the most sensible solution. Like, don't vote for him. To me,
the most obvious one, right?
That was my whole thing. Is like I didn't want.
You gotta kill the wolf.
I didn't want him in. I kept saying I would have voted for Donald Duck over him. I kept saying I was willing to vote for Kamala, even though I didn't believe she was the greatest candidate. We were saying the whole thing
right
was
now at this point.
Well, I just believe that once he got voted in, it's too late now. I mean, you can't cry over spilled milk, but that was the solution.
That's where I want. Let me build on that right there, kid. Like right now, this is where we at. So instead of complaining, what the fuck do we do?
That's gonna be $1 million question.
That I see what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Like so we ain't got to keep worrying about. Let's figure out what to do.
I think you got to be prepared for what's to come. And I think you got to prepare. Who said that? Dion, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Yeah. If you know what's coming, I think.
Hell yeah.
If it's going to rain, you know it's going to rain. Why would you go out without an umbrella?
And then if that's the case, well, tell us how to prepare.
Well, you just said it. You just said about focusing on getting your money together. Who said it earlier about getting toilet paper, getting water?
I'm talking. Yeah, that's my thing, but I'm talking about to everybody that's coming with this argument, this same thing. Well, not an argument, but with this same complaint. You know what I mean? Well, let's think about what to do. You need to be teaching. Don't just teach about what's wrong. Teach about what to do.
Earl Henning says Donald like to kill people in the devil's way. He said, without you, rested. What? Donald likes to kill people in the devil's way. Without you, rested for if you realistic about the games on the ground. I'm missing that. I'm missing some pieces on there. Cynthia Armstrong, how you doing, my sister? She said, what is going on now is and was the plan from the beginning. This has been in the making for a couple of years. The billionaire and the establishment has decided to turn this country into a dictatorship. It started back in 2016 with the division of people, then attacked the government. So there's no one to hold them accountable. I wish I could talk to you guys. I have a lot to say.
And the media ain't shit.
Cynthia, you should bang the line. I know you watched the show. We would appreciate your input. She says she have a lot to say. Jason Fideli said that was solid, Kamar. But one thing I think we're missing is understanding each other's views of the situation and an agreeable approach to the problem, so we can come up with a solution that benefits us as a people. She said, stop arguing. This is Cynthia Armstrong saying, stop arguing amongst yourselves. It's time to find solutions. She's along the lines with Kamar.
I don't think it was an argument.
Well, this is why I feel like delineation is so important. And, there's people who agree with me, and obviously there's people who don't. That's why I believe it's time for us to self-identify, because I hear a lot of people saying us and we, but I don't think all of us or we are on the same page. All of us don't consider ourselves we. All of us don't consider ourselves us. So then there needs to be a majority amongst the minority that says, hey, this is who I'm with. This is who I'm standing with. This is who I'm planting my flag with. If you're not with us, you against us. And we're going to move accordingly.
That's what I think. I respect that, Kev.
I think foundational Black Americans need to take advantage of self-identifying. So if we're going to say, hey, an election is coming up, midterms is coming up, we can start talking about who we want to vote for or create our own candidate and say, what, this is law. Nobody is voting for anybody except for this individual. This is who we're putting in there. We're not going to allow all the, well, it's so and so and so and well, you ain't with us? Nope, we'll get the fuck out. Either you're with us or against us. I think when we identify ourselves for who we are, because right now some of us don't even want to be called black. Don't call me nigga. Don't call me black. Black ain't a race. Black is a color. Nobody's interested in saying, let's stop arguing about little shit. Let's stop arguing about the little shit. Because right now what we facing is a situation, as they call it. And we need to be ready and equipped for this. Because like I said, when he does decide to turn the pistol on us, what we gonna do? If we all separate and we all gonna scatter, and you got some of them who gonna run on his side and say, oh, I'm with you. I'm one of the good ones. Shoot them. We gotta have a united front to say, hey man, this is what the fuck we gonna do. We're not tripping off y'all problems. We ain't, look, as sad as it sounds, I'm sorry, Mr. Latino. You got to fight this one on your own.
Straight gangsterism.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tether. I'm sorry that, you're not a foundational Black American. I am. And it's time for me to ride with my people. Right? And they say I put that on the hood, right? That's what that's all about. Like, hey, I live on this street with y'all. I'm not riding with the next block over against y'all. I'm riding with y'all. Right? So you have to identify though, but who is y'all? Who are we? Who is us? When Kendrick said they not like us, who is us? Like that. And there's some Black people say that shit was horrible. That shit was garbage. See, once again, we don't agree on anything.
That shit was dope.
We don't agree on anything. We can't come together, and that has to stop. Earl Henning said, your guns and ammunition, are you ready? We ain't gonna talk about that on the air. We ain't gonna talk about no guns.
Exactly.
What guns?
Don't worry about what I got in my house.
Hey, Kamar, what guns? What ammunition?
But Kev, I'm gonna tell you this though. I don't agree with you on that. We trying to use our vote as a bargaining chip.
Yeah, we know.
And I think maybe you should really sit down and try to think about that real deeply, because there is no way with us being such a small percentage of people, as far as populated people in the United States, that we could use our vote. If it wasn't
10-10, I'd go back and forth with you on that. But you say that all the time.
Okay.
And we always go back and forth on it. So I'm not gonna sit down and think about that tonight. We'll sit down and think about it Wednesday. I got to go to work in the morning. I do got a government job until Trump take it away. So check this out, man.
I'm at work tonight, and the school ain't open tomorrow. So
well, my shit ain't closed. I got to get up and get it. I just wanted to close this out by talking about the conversation in the chat room. I'm not in the chat room, but in the group about Serena Williams. And I wanted to talk about Dank DeMoss too, but I think we can wait on Dank until Wednesday. But I wanted to I really want to talk about Serena, because I refer to Serena Williams as a bed wench all the time. And I do think that the only side eye that I give Kendrick's performance was Serena. And
don't be fat, bitch.
I side eye that whole, and I don't know. This is not something else we talked about on the show. I don't know the nature of their relationship, but I think, if you with us, you're with us. If you're not, you're not. And I see her and her sister, and I don't think I've ever seen her sister with a Black man ever. It's something to be said about a person of color that hasn't ever dealt with another person of color in a relationship. There's something to be said about you date a few rappers, you date a few ball players, and none of them treat you right, and so you go get a white man. He is still a white man. Now, I'd say Stephen A. Smith came out and called him a simp. Stephen A. said he'd divorce her if that was his wife, and the white man came back and fired at Stephen A. Smith and said, you're just mad because you're by yourself and you're lonely. And I seen Black women. I put the picture up in the group and they said, oh shit, what's wrong with that? There was Black people saying that. There's Black people saying that. Once again, if you're not with us, you are against us. Okay? You love who you love, right? But you can't tell me that you can't find a Black man to build a legacy with, but you can come and crip walk for a rapper. It shows me that you don't really have an understanding of certain things. and I say that not to disrespect the show or what her contribution was, because I think but her being there gave it some validity in some people's eyes. But I side eye it. Any black person that chooses consciously to marry outside of our race, there's a level of compromise that they have that makes me worried about them when the shit hits the fan. Because who you gonna choose? It doesn't mean that I'm not talking down on anybody. I'm not saying, you wrong or you're Uncle Tom. I'm just saying, where's your loyalty? We talked about 50 Cent, right? We talked about the street code of loyalty and honor. Where's our loyalty to ourselves? Where's our honor to ourselves? When we have a epidemic of young black men being raised without a strong black man in their life, I think we should make conscious time 5 efforts to find another person who's a foundational black American that we can build a legacy with. You don't get generational wealth unless you do this. That's how these things are formulated. So every time we give somebody, I'm go find somebody. I seen another famous black lady. Oh, it's Chili from TLC. Well, I encourage black women to start dating outside their race. That's a hell of a thing to say to black people right now. That's a hell of a thing to say to young black girls who look up to you, who think you are so. Well, I know nobody really looks up to people. These kids can't remember TLC, but I'm just saying, sometimes your influence is the most important thing. Now, once again, love who you love. Love who you love and be who you are. But just think about where your loyalty lies and think about the compromises that you're willing to make. Shout out to everybody who has a white woman. Shout out to everybody who has a white husband. Right? Shout out to you. No, I'm for real, because, you got to sleep with her. And if you like it, I love it. But I'm just saying, when there's a pivotal moment like a Day Not Like Us, and there's this overarching statement made to the United States of America, we still have a bed wench in our midst. So you can't tell me she didn't go home and explain the messages. You can't tell me she didn't go home and tip him off to what was going on at the movement, at the meeting. She did. She's compromised. And you can't tell me he ain't sharing that information. He owns Reddit. I don't know if y'all ever been on Reddit. I kind of like Reddit. But I'm just saying.
I don't like Reddit.
I kind of like Reddit. I kind of like Reddit. But I'm a cheerleader for foolishness.
I don't even know what Reddit is.
My whole point is, who do you love? Who do you trust? Who do you trust? Who do you love? It's something we all got to start asking ourselves. Because what's about to happen is this country is about to be divvied up. And we ain't going to get a peace.
Yes, it is.
Unless we come to peace. Cynthia Armstrong said, we don't want to start talking about all the brothers that date these white women. I just don't believe that we should date outside our race. It's not right. We talk about brothers who do the same thing all the time. I do. There's no double standard for me. It is what it is. Whether you a brother or whether you a sister. Once again, where does your loyalty lie? You come from a black mother, a black grandmother. You got black aunties and uncles, black cousins. You live in a black neighborhood, and through all of that, you can't find enough beauty within this spectrum to marry somebody who looks just like you, right? I don't know how, but I didn't go through that. So I haven't dealt with that. I didn't have any kind of problems with black women that marked me, so I would never be able to have a healthy relationship with one. So I can't speak from their perspective. I'm just saying, compromise is compromise. And once again, I'm knowing for sure that she went home and had to explain a lot of shit to him, which in itself is dry snitching, which makes her a rat, correct? And we started off by saying you ain't supposed to fuck with rats. Even if she got a short skirt on and she's thick. That's my whole point, man. Y'all keep y'all head on the swivel.
Crazy? Remember back in the day, ain't that crazy how niggas would mess with a girl to call the police on them and go back to her time and time again, and then come to the block and be like, hey, man, we don't fuck with snitches.
Yeah, well, your girl's a snitch. So anyways,
God damn.
A lot of times they don't know their mama and daddy's a snitch because they telling the police who they selling that crack over there at that house. That's neither here nor there, man. Y'all keep y'all head on a swivel. Be safe till Wednesday. I'm not gonna cancel the Wednesday show this week. We'll be back. We'll talk about Dank DeMoss. We'll talk about, loving yourself and appreciating yourself, but loving yourself enough to not let things get out of control. So love yourself enough to know that you can't eat 12 Twinkies every time you have a snack, and so on and so on and so forth. Because the worst thing you can be on this planet is the type of person who's always talking and never doing. Because if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution, what I heard is that you a coon. I'll see y'all Wednesday, man. Peace and love. Y'all be careful.
Love, bro.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.